Hey everybody, welcome to an all-new episode of Talkin Ish, a podcast amongst friends. I am Anthony Sterling, aka your friendly neighborhood super Negro, and joining me as always are those beautiful queens of podcasting, starting off with that lovely ray of sunshine. Miss Araya Anderson is in the building. Janae.
Hi, Jenny. Oh, I gotta do it like this.
That's so
Oh,
aggressive.
yeah. What are you waxing on and waxing off? What's going on? That's a lot of anger. And keeping it moving, y'all. We never have a complete pod without that slightly annoyed, amply caked up, the priestess of beige rage. Y'all give it up for the African American princess, Miss Britt Williams, y'all. She's here.
Something is wrong with her ass.
I'm sorry.
That was
I have
mature.
mustard stuck in my head.
You did not say mustard. You
I know,
literally
I said
yelled.
titties. Titties.
Dear God.
That hurt my boobs though.
And this is the
I
final
bet.
episode of Talkin Ish. Blame Britt Williams. No, that is it. We're done. No, kidding.
Who missed
And
it?
last but never least, y'all give it up for our enforcer, the mistress of Ish Talk, the best moderator when it comes
Why
to
am I a
controlling
mistress?
men. I don't know. I can't make you the married one, so you got to be the side piece.
That's true.
Okay. Well, you get the car. You should be.
Okay.
You get the car. Now it could be, a Fiat, but Fiats are
No.
nice. No.
No, I don't want a Fiat. I got
Okay.
the size of your car should match the size of your ass. That is why I drive a Nissan Armada.
There you go.
No.
Could you imagine all those flat ass
Well-
women and them slim little cars?
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Rhea takes
Thank
offense
you.
to that comment.
I forgot that
I-
you didn't have a big
Hey.
booty. I always assume you do.
And you forgot
thank
we're
you.
introducing Miss Coretta with the Beretta, Miss Helene Tarragano, or I gotta say it more better because she did it better because it's
Not
her
more
last name.
better.
Mo better.
Yeah, Mo
Mo
better.
better.
Mo better
Mo
pronunciation. But
bitches.
y'all
Mo better.
show
Mo
some
bitches.
show some love to Miss Helene Tarragano, y'all. She's in the building. Hello, madam.
With my slave braids in because I just washed my hair.
Did you
What's-
say kizzy?
Miss Sealy, you and me
No.
must never
Oh yeah.
Not slaves.
Yeah, you kind of do got the Miss Sealy plaits in your
I
head.
do.
But
Look,
it's
no
okay.
I was
makeup,
thinking-
fresh face, my Sealy plaits. I need my eyebrows are extra thick this week. A lot
I was
going on.
thinking way back kizzy. I was
Yeah,
thinking
my
kizzy.
forehead out. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
She did the Groucho Marx with her.
That's the biggest brows I've ever seen. Wink, wink.
These are for Jazz. Jazz.
Yeah.
These are what eyebrows look like.
I forget
Ooh.
Jazz is not a part of this, so when I got on, I was like, wait, we're missing somebody. There's only 4
I
of
know.
Right,
us.
I
she
thought,
might-
I
you-
thought she would be there.
The fifth
She has
toe,
a
or
life.
the sixth toe. Excuse me.
She has a life. She has finally gained interest.
What you
Stop
saying
it.
about
into-
us?
Stop it.
I ain't got
Don't we
nothing
have
to
no
say.
lives?
Ain't our business. Don't you shush that stick dog. Let him be.
Don't you
But,
shush that sick dog.
That's the big one.
Oh, okay. I don't know which one is which. They all
Yeah, shush
unique to
that
me.
bitch.
But
I've been Go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, before we really hop into it, I do want to thank like a huge special thanks to Patrick, George, Jason,
Yes.
Chris, and Rico for our Black Men United, our Black Men Talking Ish episode.
Did you say Jason?
I did say Jason. I will never forget. I can't forget Jason. Look at you.
Jason.
Just
Jason.
stop.
I heard
Stop.
George, Patrick, Chris, Rico. Okay.
George, Patrick, Rico, Chris, and Jason.
Mm.
I will do it again. I'll say it
I
twice.
like Jason. I think
Yeah,
I'm the
Jason's-
only one who
Jason's
likes
awesome.
Jason. Besides
Well,
Anthony.
I liked Jason until he called me out.
Did you say you
did-
liked it?
Yeah, she's
Oh
using
my.
she's using AAVE today.
AAVE.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
Right?
Black
And I'm
History
light
is month.
skinned. You know, not
And
light skinned. I'm light skinned. I'm mixed.
well, congratulations. Black History Month is now a thing of the past,
It's over
literally,
here.
because I don't think it's coming back next year. So
We
we,
don't need him. We don't need
oh
him
dear
or the
God.
government or any official to tell us that we can have Black History Month. We will have Black History Month with or without their approval. They can fuck all the way off. You heard me, Trump. Fuck you.
Shut the fuck up!
So
Donald Trump.
That was an early Hertep moment. Look at that.
yes, and we ain't got one this week, but we will have one next week. But I do want to say Happy Women's History Month. So to
Yes.
all the
Hey,
ladies,
women.
to all the women, yep.
Women's.
Don't you?
The only
like
reason
bitches?
it
Why
annoys
is you
me-
like gay?
Because we got to include white women in it. That's why it annoys me, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, we got to move on because
No, I'm
We
serious.
gotta-
I'm not kidding.
no, we know you're not
We
kidding.
know.
Ma'am,
know.
your whole mama was a white
We're here
woman.
Well,
Yes, she was. She was hella white.
Okay.
Hella.
Okay. She was whiter than white, is what you're saying.
She was. Hold on.
Okay. No,
Her
no.
last
no,
name should have
no.
been Snow.
Oh,
She's gonna go get a
oh.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. She looked like she called a black person the N-word at the lunch counter.
Yeah, she looks like one of those people that were protesting when
wow.
Ruby Bridges was trying to go to school.
She does.
Yeah.
I agree with Rhea.
She kind of
does.
does. No disrespect to Brit's mom. May she rest, in peace. But
The
yeah.
book that I found that
May she
I,
rest
the
somewhere.
only thing I have of her with like her handwriting in it,
Mhm.
it was Roll Jordan Roll, the world the slaves made. And she has like
Okay.
annotations in every freaking page.
She was progressive.
Yeah.
Back then, fuck yeah, she was.
She
well,
just didn't
she
look it.
also
Right.
She was a spy. That's why she looked like that.
she was in an interracial
She
relationship.
could infiltrate,
Right.
and they'd be like, "Oh, she's one of us. Let me talk about the niggers."
But
And
she
then
would
she
do that.
runs
She would drag my dad to cowboy bars, talk shit because she was in Mensa. She would call these cowboys and these fucking rednecks all sorts of words they didn't understand until they get mad, and then she'd look at my dad, and my dad would be like, "I don't want to fight right now." Or she hustled pool, and she would, while she was hustling him to throw him off,
Mhm.
she'd call him racist and shit like that.
Okay.
You do know that first half is not a flex, right? Like you trying to
It is not a
purposely get
flex.
nigga killed.
No. Putting my dad in that situation was not a flex. The flex was just the fact that she was smart enough and with it
Mhm.
enough, even in a time where they were the only interracial relationship in the small towns that they lived in. So, but I don't know her. So these are stories I hear. I don't know anything
Ah.
about her.
And you can hear more of these rousing tales of Brit's parents in the new book, Behind the Brit, and that's when the bottom fell. So we're going to move on because
The
it is
bottom
time,
fell.
y'all, for our weekly wellness report. We want to see how everybody's been doing for the past week. So we are going to start off with that beautiful ray of sunshine, Miss Araya Anderson. How
Yay.
has your week been,
Yay.
girl?
It's been okay. My mental health is getting better. I'm still broke as ever. But I stayed
almost
Gucci
there.
down.
We're just waiting on
Thursday.
Brit's first check.
Yes.
I was actually, when she said my mental health is getting better, I almost said, "Oh, because payday's coming." 'Cause my payday's coming.
My light bill is due, so and I have zero funds. So I will be leaning on Brit for assistance.
I got it.
Even
Lean
when
heavy.
days are bright, she'll be leaning on Brit for assistance.
Until I
Well,
get a
it's
new
real.
job.
Yeah.
I had 2 interviews that didn't
Okay.
pan out, so
Oh.
they didn't pan out. No,
Okay.
so
It's
We'll
all
see.
right.
So those are
You-
practices for the job you're gonna get.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, you know me. I always keep you in my thoughts, girl. I know you're gonna land something a hell of a lot better than what you got. So
Thank you.
you
Thank
got
you.
this. Well, we're gonna
Always.
move on, and we might as well bring it in. So, Britt, how was your week? Big money grip.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of funny. The very first day of work, it's 3 p.m, and I get an email from saying that my background is cleared and I can now start work. Mind you, it was almost
You've
the day
already
was
started
done.
working.
Yep, day was almost done. My little dog has more than likely a UTI. There's a small amount of blood in it, so I have to take him to the vet. I had to switch him to a full vegan diet. I have to get him cranberry supplements and apple cider vinegar in his water and his vegan diet.
You know, you can get cranberry supplements in a powder form,
You
so that
can?
he's more apt to take it. Yeah,
Okay.
just
All right.
Google powdered cranberry supplements.
Okay. And this
Take
bitch is
him.
still single. Sorry.
Yay.
No,
Okay.
not yay. I mean, it's not terrible. I'm not like horribly sad about it. I'm just saying,
Question mark.
and
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to moving to Oakland
Yeah.
and then eventually out of the state and on my way to Houston at some point. And yay. So
Yay.
I'm having an
Okay,
okay
I'll
day.
do a yay without a question mark. Semicolon.
I have
I
anxiety
don't know.
about going to work tomorrow because I have anxiety about everything. So
Well.
there's that.
That's okay.
Drink more.
Drink more. Okay.
Yes, that's the answer.
Drink more.
That's how I get
You-
to it.
You want her to get paid? Don't suggest that.
No, she can drink today and she recovers, and then she'll be
Oh.
fine for tomorrow.
Okay.
No, I'll
well,
get high today. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's see if that 51-year-old can make it. I think so. But we are going to
at her.
move
Look
on
at her.
now to Miss Coretta with the Beretta.
Look like
Elaine, how
Popeye.
was your week, madam?
It was cool. Sunday was good because we had the pod. Then
Mm-hmm.
work as usual. I got rid of my headache. She decided she wasn't going to report to her last day of work, so that is what it is.
Blessings come in all flavors.
I'm telling you, that's okay because I charged her for her uniform. So
Can you
Why my
do
check
that
low?
in Texas? Because in California you can't.
Girl,
you
this
can
is
'cause
Texas.
they signed for it initially.
Oh, okay. So
When
yeah,
they,
once you
that's
when they
sign
do
that,
their
They're
when they
supposed to
do
turn
their
it in when they're done.
no nobody wants those clothes. You just have to the what you sign is saying that you'll be employed there for a year. It's kind of like if you were to do what do you call it? Like if your job
Like
pays for you to go to school.
probationary. Oh, and you got to
yeah.
work
Yeah,
for a
you have to
certain
be
amount of
if they
time.
pay for you to go to school, then you have to be there for same thing with the uniform. You have to work there a year and we won't charge you. And it's up to my discretion. I could not charge her, but you've annoyed me. So now you shall be charged.
So do
They
you
tried
take that out
that
of her
when I
last
left
check?
Cambria.
Huh?
Oh, sorry.
You take it out of her last check?
Indeed.
Mm.
They
And-
tried that when I left Cambria, and because it's the state of California, they couldn't do it.
Yeah, Cali's a little different.
Yeah. Nah, Louisiana probably be like, take it. Because I know from my previous
Right.
job, when you signed the handbook, it stated you break it, you buy it.
That part.
And we've had people break numerous things and nothing was taken out of their check.
Mm.
You
Oh,
know,
and I'm still juicing. I got carrot,
Yay.
pineapple, and ginger
you,
today.
You finished that
Look
juice.
at you.
So good.
She
I haven't
tastes.
had any
Never thought
liquor.
of you.
Yeah, when was the last time I had liquor? Let's see. It was recent.
2
like,
weeks
don't act
ago.
like-
I know. Thank you.
No,
2
it was a week
weeks
ago because I
you
was
had-
drinking. I was drinking
Oh.
wine on the pod with the boys.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
I had red wine on the pod with the boys, but that was the last time. Like I only
Okay.
drink like Sundays with y'all usually.
Yeah.
Oh, I will be drinking Thursday because we got a party at work.
Oh, nice. Nice. Well, I guess I'll
How was
round
your
it
week,
off.
Anthony?
Come
Any
on,
any
Anthony.
news?
Come on.
Yes. We did an all male podcast. It was amazing.
It was.
And that's
It was
about
so
it.
good.
That was
No,
it. My week was
that's
a
not
week.
it.
Please.
That's
no,
not
that's
it.
not it.
That's not
All
it.
right. All right.
Don't
all
make me
right,
show the
all
text
right.
message.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Right?
Nope. Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm black. Yay!
Oh my god.
Still black, y'all. Have not changed.
And I'm black, y'all. And
I'm blackity black and I'm black, y'all. No, actually, I got a job offer and I accepted. So I have a job. Yes, I have a job.
oh my god.
Oh my God, I'm employed again. It's
So
kind of
everyone
funny.
currently is back to working.
Yes.
Yes.
All I can say about my job is I do work for the state of Louisiana. It's probationary right now.
Hey.
There's gonna be some
Sorry.
commuting, but I am thankful. I am happy. Um, Nervous. I don't know when I start yet. I took my drug test.
Oh,
They find any kind of barbiturate. Call look. Somebody setting me up to fail because this temple may be dilapidated, but it is not a crack house. So I'm just waiting for the results. I gotta get my college transcripts. I gotta send that over. So once I get all of that, then they're like, "All right, we're gonna talk about your start date and everything."
they're
I went
asking
on,
you for your college transcripts, really?
yeah, because of what the
It's the
position
state.
is. Yeah, it's the state girl. They want to make
States
sure.
don't play.
No, but I know some folks who work for the state. That's all I'm gonna say. But the beauty of it is I can say where I'll be working. I'll be working for the Department of Environmental Quality. Hippies. Um, they are the folks who deal with environment and quality. Wah wah. Uh, so when you wonder why is this plant built here, they're the reason why because they handle land grants and they do all the inspection work. It's like the state's EPA,
Mhm.
so that's going to be a very interesting position. But I'm there for probationary 3 months, as in all jobs. As I tell people, if they don't call you by day 88, you should be fine for day 89, 90, moving into 91. Now, you may have some folks that may come in and go on day 90. You thinking, I'm good. Don't come tomorrow. you know, so we shall see. But yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'm gonna start work. I ain't working yet.
When is your start date?
He said he don't
Once
know.
I don't know yet.
Oh,
We're
oh.
gonna once they get my transcripts and the results of the drug test. We'll
Is there
see.
a background check?
Yeah, I think I passed that background check because they wouldn't have
Okay,
offered it to me. And
gotcha.
the crazy thing is that they
And
offered
you
it
can
to me.
pass a drug test?
Girl, was
He can pass a
Einstein
drug
smart?
test.
I can pass
I
a drug
can't.
test.
Did
You
Raya
know.
not hear nothing you said prior to
No,
this?
because I was being distracted by my cat trying to break my door
Oh,
down.
basically what I said was this temple may look dilapidated, but it is not a crack house. So
That's what I heard. I heard it is not a crack house, and I didn't get that. I was like,
yeah.
what is the
So
context here?
oh yeah, no, it's I'm excited. It was kind of funny because when I told my mom, I said I got the job. She said, "What job?" I said, "A job I applied for." Oh, and when I told her what it was, she said, "When did that happen?" Just now. She started tearing up. So
Aww.
it's one of those things where I'm like, okay. She's like, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Yes. I'm like, okay. Tell Jesus to make it quick so I can start getting these checks. But
Right.
the beauty of it is, I learned working for the state, you don't collect Social Security. You don't pay into Social
You
Security
don't have to
anymore.
pay into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
worked for
pay
the state
into
of New York. We
retirement.
didn't pay into Social Security.
Okay.
So, but what happens is, and you probably have enough quarters in as
Hmm.
paying into the system,
Yeah.
because when you go to retire, if you don't have enough quarters, like consecutive quarters,
Right.
it affects your Social Security. So we
Okay.
had some people who were retiring from the job that I worked for the state agency in New York that had to go back to work part time so they could
In
get
order to get those
quarters in.
quarters in, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been working since I was 18.
Yeah. So you're
So
probably fine.
yeah, I mean, I
And I
worked from
always
18 and
kept a
then
part-time job when I worked for the state so that I
right.
would have my quarters in.
Okay. Well, the beauty of it is, I'm like this. Don't know what's on the other side, but I'm glad right now I'm
Yeah.
back on it because after what I've just seen this past week with our, and I hate to say our president, with the decisions that are happening with
Not my
Medicaid,
president.
it's, man, I feel bad for a lot of folks. Like my heart goes out to these folks who are really feeling it now, and not even the ones who voted for the orangutan, but at the end of the day, those who didn't and are having to suffer for that, I really
I
feel
feel
for them,
sorry
man.
for the immigrants, migrants, whatever you want to call them, who
Yeah.
did not vote at all, didn't vote for him, didn't vote for Kamala, Well, that's maybe because they couldn't vote for her.
Right.
But I just feel sorry for the ones who don't support him. Let's take voting out of it. Who don't support him. They are now being victims of ICE, and I feel bad that I was giving that phone number out because
Yeah.
they are now
Well,
in my hometown,
mm-hmm.
and they had an emergency school board meeting. I was just telling Britt this the other day. They had an emergency school board meeting to say that they would not allow ICE on school properties at all. Because what they're trying to do is catch the parents picking up the kids and getting them arrested by ICE. But you know who I'm glad that got arrested by ICE? Simon Gobadia.
And who is
Portia,
Simon Gobadia?
Portia's ex-husband on The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
No way.
Wow. Okay, I thought it was some scumbag. Okay, well,
Right?
for real.
I was like, ooh, a terrorist. They found a terrorist.
No,
Nope.
he's just a media whore, and now he's being detained by ICE. I'm just tired of seeing him
No,
on the
man.
blogs.
Gotcha.
When Rhea told me that, I had told her I was talking to a friend of mine about that, and he had said that ICE was in Boston, and we were talking about how they weren't going
They're
to
not
the
going to go
Italians, the
after them.
Irish, the
Yep.
Portuguese, none.
And when I
And
tell you it's a problem with at least the Irish, I don't know about the Italians, but the Irish are a
and the
problem in
Portuguese.
Boston.
hmm
Yeah, they're no
But
better. They're no better than any of the bad people that Trump is trying to deport.
Yeah.
and I was telling him how Puerto Ricans are actually kind of nervous because of the fact they caught a few Puerto Ricans. And I also said,
Right.
for the first time ever in history, Dominicans are saying, I black. I black.
I know Dominican, I black.
I know
Because
Dominican. I'm black. I black.
right? For the very
Well,
first time
Don't be black
ever.
now.
Right?
Mm-mm.
Donde
Exactly.
Go
está
ahead
negro?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. You take your wavy head ass right where you were. You
My
good.
first baby's father, if I had kept the child, was Dominican, and he was here on a fake identity. So he's probably, if they haven't caught him already and sent his ass back, he's probably going to get rounded up.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Britt.
I was gonna say I went on one date with this Dominican guy, and partway through he asked me if I'd marry him.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
He was.
Okay.
I was. Never mind. I'm not gonna say he was legal. I'm just saying he was super young, and I was like, you don't know.
No. Say Britt. I'm gonna leave it
Heard
there.
her
Yeah,
like
like
him
I'm
young.
young. It's not my fault.
Let's not
Once
do
again,
that.
not my fault.
We're gonna move on. And we want to thank everyone who has been sending comments and messages. We truly appreciate y'all. If you want to leave a comment, let us know how we're doing. At the bottom, if you're watching on YouTube, put it right there, right below in the comment section, and we will read what you wrote. Just like the Togarian herself, the CEO of Toes R Us, Miss Jazz, or Jasmine, if you're nasty, writes to us saying, commenting from episode 143, love that y'all made a safe space for black men to be vulnerable. Amazing discussion and episode. Thank you, Jazz. We appreciate it. That was a great episode to put together, and I'll be honest, once I had to do the little edits and stuff, it was a hard one to try not to feel the emotions, especially for Patrick's story. If you haven't watched episode 143, it is out in the wild. It is there for your consumption. Please go check it out. As a matter of fact, share it with all the men in your life. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, God damn it. Don't mean shit to me. Fuck the ethnicity. Thank you, Kendrick. That was a Kendrick Lamar quote. You see, I didn't do MF Doom, Rhea.
The goat. The goat.
You know.
You're getting
But
better.
thank you, Jazz. We appreciate it. And we got from the Blurred of Peace, not the Blurred of War, but the Blurred of Peace. I am only at 5 minutes and 36 seconds in, and an audible damn just escaped my lips. So hopefully that was a damn that it was good, or damn, these
Right. What was
Negroes
the damn
suck.
at 5 minutes in?
Yeah. Was it, oh my God, this is great, or tomato? Tomato. Tomato. We don't know. But Blurt of Peace and Jazz, thank y'all so much as always. You want to leave a
Yes.
comment? Drop it below the video you're watching. If you're doing it on Spotify, you can do it the same way. So we would love to hear from y'all and join in our discussion. All right, we have to move on, y'all, because it is time for our random chats of blackness, aka This Week in Black. What, Britt?
I was going to ask if we could March 8th, with more information coming, Bitches, Booze, and Brunch, we'll be recording it.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to remind
Could you have waited till after we record this?
You think I can remember shit?
I know I can't.
Crazy.
I was supposed to remind her before the show.
Yes, we can do it. It's all right. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, be ready. There is something coming back, a return even. Bitches, Brews, and Brunch, featuring these three ladies and a gaggle of other
Hotels.
hens. Oh,
We're
okay.
doing hotels.
Our first topic, just to let y'all know.
Go.
It's a teaser. Our first topic is blowjobs. Continue.
All right. Serious. Millions of Africans died on the middle in the Middle Passage.
I didn't pick that. Just so.
No. I know.
Look at
You one of the
Helene's
good
face.
ones, Helene. You are one of the good ones, the more intelligent. But we
Hey.
girl, you second in command. You second, Rhea. You got a good brain. You is smart.
I've not made quite as many poor pussy management decisions
as
some
the other two.
folks.
Oh, we're gonna dig deep and find your
Okay.
poor pussy
Well,
management.
y'all can
Yes,
dig
we
as deep
are.
as you want, but
Well, this is kind of a horrible segue because it's going to get a little sad because we have to show some reverence and some love to some of our fallen musical geniuses. And we have to start off with Roberta Flack, who passed away, I think it was last week or week before, at the age of 88, I believe.
That's a good life.
Yeah, she lived a wonderful life, man. One of the greatest soul singers, R&B. She was known for such pop hits like "Feel Like Making Love." I feel like making love.
sir, stop it.
Shut up. This my shit. I'ma do it.
Didn't she sing "If Ever I Saw You"?
Yes, the first time.
That is exactly why I didn't want you singing, because I knew you were gonna pop in.
But more importantly, Roberta Flack was known for one of the greatest songs to ever be redone by a certain one album wonder. And that was Killing Me Softly.
One album wonder is correct.
Yes, but that one album transcended for decades. Get
Nigga,
over
stop.
it. No, nigga, continue. So, don't be mad. Lauryn Hill did a lot. Stop. Just stop.
She didn't do a lot. That's why the bitch only had one album.
I thought you were talking about Albie Shore because he covered that song too.
I never heard his rendition.
Nobody gives a shit about Albie Shore's version, ma'am. Stop it.
I didn't even know he did.
None. But Roberta Flack is also known for her wonderful collaborations with one of the greatest, known as Donny Hathaway, with such songs as "Be Real Black for Me." Come on, y'all. Y'all know some of them, right? "Where Is the Love?" Not the Black Eyed Peas, "Where Is the Love?"
For 2 seconds when he said "Be Real Black for Me," I thought that was the name of the song.
That is the name of the song.
Where is the
"Be Real Black for Me"?
Yes.
That one?
Yes. That's the song. That's "Where Is the Love."
I mean, not that rendition, but yes.
Not that version.
Oh.
Not that, special helmet version. No. "Be Real Black for Me" is one of, as they say, a B-side that her and Donny Hathaway did. That is probably. Oh, I will send it to you in the group chat. It is it's a beautiful song. As a matter of fact, if you heard Scarface's "My Block," which was on his classic album, The Fix, he samples that song. He samples "Be Real Black for Me." It is definitely.
Oh, that's the song?
Yeah.
"Be Real Black for Me"? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
With the
that's what we were
piano.
just
I thought you
discussing.
were telling us to be real black for you.
No, God, no.
I
no.
just said that.
Why
And
would
then
I
he's like,
tell
"Oh,
that to
that's the
Brit?
name of the
That's gonna be
song."
hard. Yeah, that's the name of the song.
Oh,
But anyway, she toured for decades. She had finally stopped touring. I think once her health conditions started to wane and things were, not looking very good for her, she stopped touring, but was still writing music. I believe she was doing a lot of what you call it, not just producing but songwriting, and she
Mhm.
wrote a bunch of hits. So just want to show some love, and may you be in the arms of the ancestors, running free and singing your tune. Man, that'd be awesome because you and Donnie are back together again, reunited. My goodness, I would love to have.
And it
I'd love to
feels
see that
so
concert.
good.
Yeah, Peaches and Herb. Ah. Anyway, um, another
On a
person we
maze created
lost.
for you.
tonight
There
I
you go.
celebrate
That is
my
also Roberta
love for
Flack.
you.
She gonna come and haunt you. You are killing her songs. Stop it.
Killing me softly with his
No, she's gonna
word.
bludgeon you. Stop it. That is enough.
Not bludgeon. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
She's gonna go
That takes
medieval.
that's a
That takes a
poltergeist
while.
amount of force.
Yes, to
Mhm.
bludgeon. But no, sadly we lost another R&B songstress this past Saturday, since we tape on a Sunday.
Tragically,
Very tragic. We lost Angie Stone at the age of 63 years old.
she was 63.
Yes. Angie
Young.
had
Yeah,
been
she was
Herb
around
was
way.
since the
Remember, she
younger.
was way
they're
older than
older than
D'Angelo back in
D'Angelo.
the day.
Whoa, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Nigga,
Mm-hmm.
Angie had some pedophile shit going on in her life. Well, with D'Angelo at that time. You know, she was not she was what they say, she was a groomer.
Mm.
He's only 51.
Yeah. So that's a
So
12
think
year
about what
difference.
age they had a kid. Think
Well, I
about it,
mean,
do the
yeah,
math.
I mean,
Think
if he was
about it.
18, 19 years old or 20, because I don't know how old her son is with him. The
Her
son they
son was
had
born in
together.
1998, so he is 26.
Oh, okay. They
And
good.
highly unattractive. Sorry.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's
He
not a
didn't. He
needed.
didn't get D'Angelo's genes at all.
He did
Well,
not.
well, again, things that I knew but didn't really comprehend.
I
I've
thought she was sickly until y'all told me to read the article.
But I think
well,
she was
She was.
sickly
She
too.
had some health issues
Yeah.
around surrounding her weight,
yeah,
and she lost a lot of weight. So I don't know if she had that surgery or she was taking Ozempic, but she had lost the weight.
yeah.
I think she must have had that surgery because she still had a fat head.
Well, I ain't going there.
Like
The
Al
woman.
Roker.
Lord
Wow,
Jesus.
we're
Sorry.
done. But
I
no,
mean, sorry. Sorry,
Randy
Angela.
Jackson. Randy Jackson looks like an claymation person now. He had that
yeah,
surgery.
yeah. Well, when we're not talking about the surgeries, we are talking
I
about
would hope when I
her.
lose weight, my head's gonna shrink. Like that would fucking suck if my body shrunk and my head was
Yeah,
still
when I
this
lose
size.
weight, I lose it in my
You lose it
chin
here,
and then in
here,
my
Yeah.
here, but no,
Like
that
hopefully I'll
forehead
go
ain't
back to
going
having
nowhere.
one chin. Oh no, my forehead's not going nowhere. But I know hopefully I'll go back to having one chin. And like, but I've had, you know what's weird is even when I was thin, I had like this line right here. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's probably this. I
don't
think it's
worry.
Those
because
are
my
genetic.
this head's not
Hmm.
supposed to
There's
be on
nothing
this
you can do
body.
about
That's
them.
what I think it is.
Oh, you think it's just a
My
pop top? You
head's
just pop it off
Yeah.
and
smaller
put
than
it
my
on something
body.
else? Okay.
Yeah. I think
Well,
like
that's what
look,
it is.
Khloe Kardashian.
let me hurry up and
Oh,
memorialize Angie.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, Angie. My bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
so
We got
bad. We get off a
sidetracked.
track so
My
much.
bad. We
But no,
do.
I forgot she was the lead singer of Vertical Hole.
I don't know what that
And
is.
I
I
don't know
saw
who
that.
that is.
it was an R&B group from the 90s. They were around during the Soul to Soul days, where it was
Oh,
two guys and a woman lead singer.
yeah.
You know, the two guys were the musicians and the woman was always the singer.
Do they have any
So
notable songs?
they do God
They
darn
don't,
it.
because you
We
would
don't
know
need
what
to
they
hear
are.
them. It's
No,
fine.
I can't play it. I was gonna play it. I had
You
the
just want to hum it
album.
for us? It's fine.
N-
We don't need to know.
No,
You have the album?
Yeah, my dad had the album and it passed on to me because I still have some of his albums. And I was just digging and I went, holy crap, that is Angie Stone. Because this album came out like 91, 92. So
Wow.
What was the name of the
Angie has
group?
been Vertical Hole.
She was about 42 when that came out.
She was 40.
Fucking D'Angelo.
Right?
She was 29, girl. Stop it. She was born in 19, what? 63.
62.
Vertical hold artist.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, she
Seems
was
you're
part of that
too.
group.
Seems you're
That's it.
too. Seems you're much too busy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is the main song apparently.
Yep. Seems you're much too busy for me. It was so late 80s, early 90s. It's before Helene's time. She couldn't comprehend the shoulder pads.
I can comprehend shoulder pads. I am an exennial, sir. There were shoulder pads circa 1980, whatever. I was born in 81, so Nadine was still wearing the shoulder pads in her power suits. Okay.
Gotcha. So yeah, those that was the group she was with. She was also big with songwriting. She co-wrote "Love of My Life," the song with Erykah Badu and Common. That's on the Brown Sugar soundtrack. She's done songs with Guru, may he rest in peace, from Gangstar, which was one of my favorite songs, which was "Keep Your Worries." That was a dope song. But her biggest, most notable song is "My Sunshine Has Come. There is no rain in this." Come on, Britt.
Listen,
I'm
Come
not
on,
about to
Rhea.
sing it, but yes.
I know Angie Stone from her turn on Celebrity Wife Swap. That's where I know
She
her
was
from.
on that show.
Oh,
It
I
was
did
so
not. I don't
good.
think I saw
That's
it.
the only
I didn't
way
know
you
that.
know
She
her. Oh,
swapped,
that's so
she
cute.
swapped with a white family, and it was so good because she introduced them to soul food, and
Yeah.
the kids loved her because they had actual good food to eat.
They understood
And
seasoning.
yeah, but her husband at the time, you
Yeah.
could tell he was using her.
Oh,
Like he
okay.
was like a no good person, and that's where I know her from.
Okay.
I don't know her music, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
not
Well,
really?
Yeah.
she was one of the priestesses of Neo Soul.
Neo
Like
Soul. Yeah.
that was the thing. Jill
I
Scott,
kind of
Erykah
miss Neo
Badu.
Soul. The only one I know is
Really?
Erykah Badu. Yeah, that's the only
Jill
one I know
Scott?
because it went mainstream. Yeah, I know Jill Scott too.
India
Like I know who she is.
Ari.
Yeah, I
Amel
know who these
LaRue.
I
people
love
are. Like
India.
I knew who Angie Stone was. I just wasn't
Mhm.
like big into her music. I guess
Oh, okay.
that's
No
what-
More
Lucy
Rain.
Pearl?
You didn't know No More Rain?
No more rain in this cloud?
Rain on me.
No, ma'am.
No,
No.
child. No.
Wish I
No,
Didn't
no.
Miss You.
Yeah.
No,
More
I
Than a
don't know
Woman.
that. More than a lover.
No, that's Aaliyah.
No, not that
Not that
one.
one.
No, Angie Stone. No. Angie Stone did More
We're,
Than a
we're,
Woman.
She
we're not
did, but the one
talking
she
about
was singing
you,
was
Britt.
Aaliyah.
Oh,
Aaliyah's
okay.
version. So yeah,
I blocked her
Angie.
singing out. I'm sorry, I didn't hear her.
Gotcha. And Angie had some hits. Angie had some notable songs. Everybody knew
Angie
that
had
her
a whole baby with D'Angelo. Come
D'Angelo.
on
I knew
now.
that. Like
Yeah.
I know the backstories.
And
of
it was
her
a whole
personal
that was a
life.
whole to do, and not because of the age, but because motherfuckers was like they didn't think
How
that
did
she
she
was
get
worthy to
him?
be fucking D'Angelo.
Yes, that was me. That was me. I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh
how'd
my
she get
God.
him?
Well, her first solo
My
album,
thing
Black
wasn't
Diamond.
okay. Angie Stone is fat. I just was like, she's
Mhm.
just not that attractive to me.
Right. That's what
Well,
I
you know
thought.
what? What ain't attractive to you is attractive to somebody else.
I mean, this is true.
And she
So
was a musical genius,
yeah,
I would assume. So he's
yeah.
probably
Well,
attracted to her
they worked on music
musicality.
together. They worked on music together. They've
And
I
he
think
was young, so she got one of
She
them young
groomed him.
boys.
She got him
Yeah.
nice and young.
so. Her first album, Black Diamond, is the one she's known for. I believe that got Grammy nominated for Best R&B Album. But sadly, Saturday night or early Saturday morning, on their way back to Atlanta from a show they did in Mobile, Alabama, the van that she was riding in, she was the passenger, was struck by an 18-wheeler. And supposedly
Damn. I didn't
yeah,
read the
Flipped.
whole article.
it flipped 3 times, and
Wow.
I
That's
said there
but
was
they
sad.
5
didn't
other
say.
people though, and they
But
lived.
yeah,
She
so
was the only casualty?
yeah, from the looks of it. It looked
Damn.
and
I don't know
9
if
out
she
of
was the
10.
only, but I know 5 other people lived.
Well, wasn't that the same thing with Left Eye? She was the only one that died that day in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she
car
was
flipping
thrown
over.
out of the vehicle. I
She was,
remember. I
yeah, and
believe
she
when
was
it
sitting in
flipped.
the front seat.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What she was driving, wasn't she?
Oh, was she driving? I know she
Was
was in
she?
the front. I didn't know if she was driving or just in
I'll
the
have to
I
go
front.
didn't know
back
she was
again because I
I
driving.
thought
don't
she
think
was
she was
driving the
driving.
Jeep.
I,
Okay.
oh,
Because
okay.
she was
I could be
recording. I
wrong.
thought she was recording. Or maybe she was getting recorded. I don't know. It was for her
No,
Yeah.
documentary.
there was a
Mhm.
documentary of her being
Right.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where is she in Costa Rica or something like that?
yeah,
Honduras.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Again, to Angie Stone, rest in peace. Our condolences and prayers
Yes,
go to
definitely
her
my
family,
condolences to
as
her
well as Roberta Flack's
and her
family. You
family.
know, we lost some great ones. But
Yeah.
one more. Yep, we're going on a downer. But this one, well, while they're
Oh,
not
2 more.
African American nor black woman, Michelle Trachtenberg was loved by
Yes.
young black millennials, as well as this Gen Xer right here.
Wait, I was
Because
like, and Gen X women, because she
She
was
was
a pivotal person in
she was
Buffy.
Harriet the Spy. Fuck a
Spy,
Buffy. She was
yeah, we
Harriet
wasn't
the
worried about
goddamn
hair. We
spy.
wasn't. It was
She
Harriet.
was amazing in Eurotrip,
That
one
is
of my
my favorite movie
favorites.
of hers. She is part of the worst twins ever. Um, I have that on DVD. I'm gonna watch that in her honor. But yeah, man, Michelle Trachtenberg. She was what, 39?
39.
Yeah.
39.
39 years old, man, found in her New York apartment by her mom. Sad. Um, no foul play from
Liver.
liver. I didn't even
They
know
have
she had a liver
declined
transplant.
they have
Yeah.
declined an autopsy.
Yeah,
It was her liver. They knew. She.
yeah. That's
Nah.
heartbreaking, man. She is one of those where you go, oh my goodness, I
Say
remember
hi to
her as a
Kira.
kid.
Say hi.
Hi, Kira. You're famous. Ooh, the way she walked off. She was like, ugh, don't bother
Highly
me.
annoyed.
Highly. Um, but no, man, that tripped me out because my phone buzzed, and I just went, Michelle Trachtenberg of Buffy fame and Gossip Girl dead. And I'm like, oh no, come on. 2025, you're horrible. You are horrible. You are starting a horrible run. But yeah, she
Oh, I
passed
forgot she
away.
was on The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Yep. I think it was real quick though. She wasn't on for very long.
It says 14 episodes recurring role between seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. She came later. And I think that's what catapulted her into Harriet the Spy. Because remember, that was one of the first Nickelodeon movies.
Yeah,
That
94, 96 was Pete and Pete, and then Harriet the Spy
yeah.
was 96.
Yep. And I love that movie, man. That was one of the movies I actually enjoyed Rosie O'Donnell in.
Yeah.
So
Y'all
yeah.
are acting like a bunch of sissies.
That for me, that and Matilda, even at my
Yeah.
old ass age, I could sit, watch, and enjoy. Those are two of my favorite movies, man.
Who was the mean lady on Matilda? What was her name? Brundage or something like
Trunch,
that?
Mrs. Trunch.
Miss Trunch.
Miss Truncheon.
Yeah.
Trunch Bowl.
Miss
Okay.
Truncheon. Miss
Trunch
Trunchbull.
Bowl.
Yeah, I thought it was
Mhm.
Truncheon, but Miss Trunchbull.
Okay.
Yeah.
She
big
was
bitch that would
legit
work out.
scary. Yeah.
Yep. But those are the two like movies I remember. My nephews loved Matilda. I'm gonna introduce them to Harriet the Spy because
Yeah, that was the precursor. That one had the orange VHS tape.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Nickelodeon
Oh yeah,
tapes
the
were orange.
Nickelodeon. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
the Rugrats
Rugrats.
movie was
Rugrats.
orange. Yeah.
Yep.
Wild Thornberries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
I
their
love
movies
Wild
at that
Thornberries.
time were
Donnie.
orange.
Donnie is the best.
Donnie is my little dog. That is Donnie. That's who he
Oh,
behaves
wow.
like.
Well, to her family, our prayers and condolences.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. You shall be missed. I will watch a Buffy marathon from when you showed up as Buffy's little sister, which is still awkward. Dawn.
Yep.
And then they explain it, and I still go awkward regardless. But
I've
yeah,
never
we
seen
watched her grow.
Buffy.
You never
Me
watched
either.
Buffy?
Me either.
Oh, calm down, girl.
I saw the
It's
movie.
okay. Yeah, I love the
Yeah,
movie.
I don't think I've even seen the movie.
You've never
Really?
seen Buffy. I saw it in the movie
It just-
theaters.
To me, because I was into Lost Boys. To me,
Yeah.
I didn't want them to kill vampires. I love
Oh,
vampires.
well,
So
okay.
when Buffy first came out, I was like, why would she do that? Like, why would she kill these vampires?
I
They're a
love you. You
menace.
know they're not real, right?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
David
Leave her
was my favorite
alone.
vampire
Oh, David?
from
He
Lost
was.
Boys.
Yes, I
He
know who
was
you're
so
talking about.
handsome.
That
What
was
are we
the
talking about?
only time I was ever attracted to Kiefer Sutherland. The only
Mhm.
time. was
Oh,
he was-
never mind. I was thinking of the actor.
Jason
Not.
Patrick.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jason
Yeah.
Patrick.
He was
Oh,
attractive
one?
too, but
he was
like
Michael.
I'm Michael. Yeah, I love.
How are the
I love
maggots,
Lost
Michael?
Boys. Yeah.
Ugh.
What?
That
You
is
eat
such.
maggots.
Jason
That is such a
Patrick
good
was
Corey
cute as
Corey
shit.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes. The
It was a
Corey's
good Corey
bringing it.
movie.
Yes.
I will say this though. I had a huge crush on Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, Jamie
Oh,
Gertz.
she's
What
Star.
happened to Jamie
beautiful.
Gertz? That
Who
was
the
like
hell
her
is Jamie
last
Gertz?
movie. Was she in any other like
No,
teen
she
movies
did
after that?
she did a couple of other movies. She was in Less Than Zero. She was I
Oh.
forgot the other ones, but she moved on to television and then she went behind the scenes. And then she came back for a very
Oh.
short time in like the early aughts, as they say.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
What happened
then,
to the
went about her
saxophone
business.
player? That's the
Still
career
playing
I didn't want.
shirtless. Still
In
playing
those
shirtless.
leggings.
Down
I have
on
no
you.
idea, but no. But we got to move on, y'all, because it is time to get
What
into
about Gene
our-
Hackman?
Oh, yes. Rest in peace to Gene Hackman, which that heartbreaking.
Very very weird.
Heart-
We're gonna hear some more stuff about that
Yeah.
in the coming weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah. He was what? 95?
95.
Yeah, he was
95
95.
years old. Him and his wife were both
His
found
wife
dead in
was
there.
only 61.
And the dog.
And the dog.
And the
Damn.
dog.
At first, when I saw it, I was like, "Is this a murder suicide?" But then I'm like, Gene
That's what
Hackman,
I
sadly.
thought because of the pills strewn about. in
Yeah.
his
It made me
wife's
think of
room.
Phil Hartman
Right.
for
Yeah.
a second there.
Yeah. But,
Damn, the wife
phew.
was 65.
Yeah, they were like
Yeah.
They were
30
30
years
years
30
apart.
years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
They were married for like 30 years.
Right. Because
Ugh.
Gene was, what, 60 when they met?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he
So
was
she
getting
was
ready
Elaine,
to...
that
30?
face
She was
you're
30,
making.
35, yeah.
Gene Hackman at 60 could have definitely pulled a 30-year-old.
Nigga, what? Shut the fuck
Definitely.
Okay.
He's
Good
Lex
shit.
Luthor. I would have fucked him.
Okay. And get a
That's
check.
Lex Luthor.
Hey, greatest criminal mind.
You seemed you
Okay.
seem more Jesse Eisenberg kind of Lex Luthor to me.
No, not at all. He's not my Lex Luthor.
Oh no, I liked what's his name?
You tell him,
What-
Rhea. You
The
tell him.
diddler. The
Gene
child,
Hackman.
the one that they said was child molesting people.
Oh, Kevin
Spacey?
Spacey?
Kevin Spacey.
Okay,
He
I'll
played
say
Lex
this.
Luthor?
He played it in Superman Returns.
My favorite Lex Luthor
I'm not
was
a
from the
fan.
TV show, the original
not a-
Lex
I'm
Luthor.
not
Oh,
a fan
no,
of
the
new-
Lex from
Jack
Smallville.
Yep,
No, I'm
that
not a
one. Yep.
fan.
Oh,
No.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum is my
Yeah.
Lex.
I am a Superman purist. Christopher Reeve is my Superman, and Christopher Reeve is it for me. That's it. I don't watch any of the
No,
other.
Okay.
Tom Welling was a damn good. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
he
Tom
really
Welling
was.
a damn good. He was a damn good Clark Kent.
I
Not
will
Superman.
say
He was a
this.
damn good Clark Kent.
I will say
No.
this, and then we
That
got to
boy
move
was
on.
fine as shit.
I never watched one
Yep.
episode. My mother loved that show, but I never watched one episode. So
I would
can't
recommend-
compare-
I will,
I can't compare them.
I will
Tom
say
Welling was
this.
Tom
sexy as a
Welling.
motherfucker.
Tom
All
Welling was
right.
beautiful.
I wasn't a big. Wasn't that
Oh
on
my
the
God,
WB?
put kryptonite
I
in
wasn't
your
a big
coochie.
Yeah.
WB
Calm
fan.
down. Calm down. All I'm gonna say is I get what y'all saying with Smallville. I enjoyed that. It started to go downhill for me in season 7. But I will recommend, Rhea, if you do want to see a good Superman show, check
Mhm.
out Superman and Lois.
Lois.
It
yeah.
played on the WB. It was really
Lois and
good, like in
Clark?
my opinion. Huh?
No, not Lois and Clark.
Not Lois and
Dean
Clark.
Cain. 'Cause my
Not with
mother-
Not Dean
no,
Cain.
No.
My
No,
mother
ew.
loves Dean Cain. I'm like, he's MAGA, right?
Yeah, he
As
is MAGA.
fuck, and he can eat a dick now.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so is Tom Welling, though.
Really?
What?
No,
No.
Okay.
no.
Stop.
I
Stop
stop it. Shut the fuck up.
I need you to,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
shit. So is the Wahlberg. So is the Wahlbergs.
I know. Not
They're
no,
so gross.
No, not Wahlbergs. Just Mark.
Wahlberg.
Just Mark.
But look,
Donnie
You
was a
can't
hard
tell me.
face
You
supporter.
can't tell me that ugly brother that runs the restaurant ain't a Republican.
He might be. He might be.
horrible, horrible people. But
Whatever.
As much.
Who? The
anyway,
MAGAs? We know.
It was horrible.
Marky Mark, abso-fucking-lutely.
yes, and damn deed. But look, we got to move on, y'all, because we have some very interesting topics. Because this episode, because of the topics, we're going to call viewer submission. It's our viewer submission episode. So we had a couple of viewers give us some topics for us to discuss, and we are going to discuss them starting on this here episode. But if you want to give us a topic to hear our little crazy 2 cents on, drop it in the comments and we will discuss it.
Something spicy. Give us something spicy, not so heavy like this topic.
So we are starting off because it comes from our Middle Eastern correspondent, Joseph. He wanted to know, and we're going to start off with Helene because he asked Helene to speak a little bit on Christianity versus
I don't know why he asked me,
Islam.
but okay.
He wanted to hear your opinion on it. So, Helene, you can start off and we'll just jump right on in. It'll be a double Dutch thing. So, Helene, Christianity versus Islam. Who wins this basketball tournament?
Really and truly, it's so like we see these comparisons, and there are major comparisons because we will talk about as a country women's freedom when not actually giving women all that much freedom or autonomy to their bodies. But then we'll talk about people in the Middle East not having that same freedom when in actuality, the few Muslim women I know that are American Muslim women and that wear a
Hijab.
hijab do so because they want to. Like their husbands are not making them. They converted not for men. Like I worked with one for a couple years. She converted before she started to convert before she even met her husband. And she chose to take the steps and to become Muslim, and she chose to wear hijab. And that has been what I have found about most Muslim women is that they are not doing it for their fathers. They're not doing it for their husbands. They are doing so because they want to. And we can see, especially because I grew up Catholic, we can see in Catholicism, women going to church as well as nuns are to be fully covered. But you don't have a problem with a nun being fully covered, damn near to the point of a woman wearing a hijab. But
Right.
you have a problem with the women walking the street choosing to cover themselves. And even in the Catholic Church, you're supposed to walk in with a hat on your head, gloves on your hand. You're to wear stockings on your legs. You're not to wear pants.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about
Oh yeah,
Catholicism.
old
That's
school.
very traditional, though.
Yeah, I
Incredibly
mean old
traditional.
school like Roman Catholic, and what New Orleans is a good portion of like I didn't even know black people were anything other than Catholic until I left Louisiana.
I didn't know there were black Catholics.
And see, and that's what I get a lot of.
All of Louisiana, southern Louisiana
Yeah.
mostly.
And
Yeah.
that's what I get a lot of is like I didn't even know there were black Catholics.
It's all Greek and Italian that are Catholics and Irish.
Yeah,
And see,
well,
and we're Roman Catholic.
Right.
Wow.
Central
Roman
America
Catholics, yeah.
as well, South America, any place that was predominantly colonized by the Catholic
Spain.
Church. I'm
Yeah.
used to Spain, but
And see, Spanish Catholicism and Mexican Catholicism is slightly different than what like Roman Catholicism, not in its aspects of who and how they pray, but like more to what deities they pray to. Because like Mexicans and Spaniards tend to pray heavily to Mary,
yeah.
and they kind of encapsulate more women figures into their praying than a lot of Roman Catholics do.
I'm baptized Catholic, but I'm California Catholic, so
I don't even know what that means.
She's a heathen, is what she's saying.
all the things
I
that you
know what that
said
means.
that you have to wear, those are so old school. It's not even a
Oh
thought.
no,
Like,
my grandmother.
women are in jeans and sneakers
no.
and sweatshirts. California Catholic.
I mean, nowadays, if you go to like what's considered a more progressive Catholic church, then I'm sure that is what happens. Because I started going to Catholic churches only on like what I consider to be high holy days, or days of like the beginning of Lent or Easter or Christmas, midnight mass, things of that nature. And I wasn't going every Sunday like I did when I was younger, because I grew up. We went every Sunday. I was an altar server for years upon years upon years, and those were the rules. Like my mom, of course, was a little more progressive. She would wear pants, but my grandmother, up until
Mm-hmm.
probably she stopped going because the churches after Katrina kind of closed down, she was still wearing skirts, she wouldn't wear gloves every Sunday, but she was always in a skirt. She would never wear pants inside of a Catholic church. She thought it was like sacrilegious. She does not want to be buried in pants. Um, but like we look at what we consider to be differences, and they're very parallel to each other, and it's like you accept one and not the other. um and then like who they're the praying is happening, they both believe in God, they may call different names, but then they want to throw Jesus into it, and it's like, well, Muslims talk about Jesus, they know Jesus,
They just don't
they talk
accept him
more
as
of
the,
Jesus than
yeah.
Jews do.
They don't accept him as the son of God. They accept him
Correct.
Right.
as a disciple.
As a disciple. And it's like we see these differences and always want to talk about how it seems restrictive. Catholicism was just as restrictive, and certain areas of Christianity are just as goddamn restrictive as well. And it's like you pick and choose what restrictions I guess you want to adhere to, and
Right.
then look at the other religion as, oh no, that's not it. And you think about it, it's not that far off.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. Like the Muslims have their pillars of faith, those same things can be found in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. It's we try to pit each other because it's, and then even under the umbrella of Christianity, there's, okay, you're Baptist, you're agnostic, you're this and you're that, but it's all under this scope supposedly of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody's pitting themselves against something else. Like, mind your business. Pray to who
Yeah.
you pray to and
Because what
keep it
was it?
moving.
It was Catholicism that starts it for Christianity, not for all
Hmm.
religion. We know it's Judaism, but from
Correct.
Judaism springs Catholicism and Islam. Sorry, it's just the way it is. Don't be mad. Get mad with
Doesn't
don't get mad with
it?
that.
Isn't it Judeo-Christian, not Judeo-Catholicism? It's
It's
No,
Judeo-Christian.
Judeo-Christian, but Catholicism starts Christianity.
Yeah.
That's the first of the that's the first religion of Christianity.
Yeah.
From Catholicism breaks off into
Like Baptist and Protestant and all of those other, Episcopalian and
yeah, because it kind of feels like
Lutheranism.
Lutheranism. And I
yeah.
think Lutheran is like the first. Is it the first big break
I think
of
that
the
was
Yes,
the
it
big
is. I
church?
think
splinter.
so.
Because
That
wasn't
was the
it
splinter.
Lutheranism where he
He broke
posted?
away from the church and posted and
Yeah,
told people about the
yeah,
Bible and things of
yep.
that nature. He basically wrote a tell-all book. He was the Omarosa of the church, and good old Martin Luther. But he saw the church as being for the people.
Right.
The Catholic Church really was big business, whether you want to believe it or not. It
Look
was
here,
all about.
It still
because
is.
It still
Vatican
is.
City is dripping in gold.
Yes.
Hmm.
And Pope Francis might be on his way out. He may have to
Yeah.
retire due to health conditions. But again, neither here
I
nor there.
loved him. I mean, I
Yeah,
still
he was
love.
very.
I love his
He was
views.
progressive.
Is what I love.
Yeah.
He is
Incredibly
one of the more
progressive.
progressive, because of
Hmm.
course the
Yeah.
only pope that I knew up until Francis was Pope
John
John
Paul
John
Paul.
II.
Paul.
Yep.
Hmm.
And John Paul leaving was like that was a big shakeup
Yeah.
for a lot of us, because that was literally the only pope that we had ever known, only had seen
Yep.
anything. And so for there to be a new pope was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to the Catholic Church?
Were you in New Orleans when he visited? When John Paul
No,
II visited?
I wasn't. I
Because we
wasn't.
did. Oh, girl,
We
our
had
school
moved.
threw us in a school bus, and we went to New Orleans.
Yeah, my
Which pope was
grandmother
the
was
Nazi
like,
pope?
That was Benedict.
yeah,
That was the Nazi pope.
literally
Yeah.
his name.
Well, sadly, because he was in Hitler Youth as a child.
Yep.
So
Correct.
He was
as a
incredibly
teenager,
conservative, though.
yeah. Well, he in a lot of ways, Benedict really was kind of like acting pope.
Mhm.
Like it seems like he didn't want the position, but he took it. and he was like, "All right, look, I'm gonna sit in the chair, keep it warm. I'll keep the tenants going, but at a certain point, I want out." And he stuck to his word because it was because he stepped down. We get Francis, or as a lot of people call him, Frankie Baby. So
You stupid.
no, because he was so damn cool. I mean, it is what it is. But
Well,
again,
he
digress.
is. He is. He's not
Yeah.
gone
Well,
Yet.
again, I
He's only
say
got
yeah,
stage
yet.
1 kidney failure. That's not
Okay.
that bad.
okay, all right,
But
Trapper
it's
John,
when
I get it.
your age also becomes a factor,
Yeah.
and because
Yeah.
of
Yeah, because
that,
Pope Francis is what in his 70s, going into his 80s, if not in his 80s. He's got some age. So
Hmm.
again, we may get a
for
conclave. We don't know yet. Speaking of, I need
for
to
a
go see that
papist,
movie.
he's not
Anyway,
bad.
no, not at all. I'm sorry, Helene.
No,
But
you're
yeah,
fine.
with Christianity and versus Islam, and I think what Joseph wanted to talk about is what you hit. It really is about the cruelty of it all,
Hmm.
between both religions, because each religion says the other is evil. This is why we
Right.
got the Holy Crusades. This is
The
why we
religion
have the
itself, but not the. So, like, I have a Quran and I
you
have
going to
a
hell.
Catholic Bible. And the reason why I have the Quran is because after 9/11 and everyone was freaking out, I decided before I opened my mouth, I needed to read it.
Hmm.
And once again, it is human beings that pervert something and make it something terrible to reflect our nature, because the Quran is not a terrible thing. The Quran is
Hmm.
not what everyone says it is. It's
Yeah.
not this horrible, awful thing. And the Bible, yes, it has its moments, but what we turn them into are absolutely disgusting things to justify the Crusades, let's say,
Or slavery.
or slavery. Yeah, because there was
Because
a
keep in mind, the Prince of Portugal back in 1444 commission went to the Pope and pleaded his case on why black Africans need to be enslaved and put into a workforce. And the
that, and we
Pope
don't have
went,
souls,
"Hey, that's a pretty good. Go ahead, get to the
right?
niggas."
But that's the whole thing where that was it trickled down into other religions. Mormons saying black
Hmm.
people could not be Mormons, religions saying black people have no souls, and the slave master's Bible, things of
Wait,
that
I thought
nature.
that was gingers.
But
But
Them
I'm
like
too.
the Catholic Church has always, unfortunately, and there are things that I really, really enjoyed about being Catholic. Like I love the architecture, I love the
Hmm.
history. It wasn't always the best history, but the Catholic Church has always been able to be bought and sold, unfortunately. And it was able to be bought and sold by the highest bidder, who was usually some king of some land. And the Catholic Church, I mean, we can go as far back as what's the motherfucker that was cutting off the heads when he wanted divorces and couldn't get one?
Henry VIII.
Henry
Correct.
VIII,
He was like,
indulgences.
I know I can't get a divorce, so let me find some way. Oh, treason, that's fine. And let me cut their heads off so I can stay within the confines of the church, but then let me give enough money to said church to
Hmm.
where they will look at me the other way for allowing these women's heads to be cut off. The Catholic Church is not without reproach, that's for damn sure, and they are certainly not
Yeah.
walking around with clean hands.
But the church only did
Um,
it for so long because remember, England breaks off from
yeah,
the Catholic Church, and this is where you get the
the
church. It
Church of
was the Church of
England.
England and the
Yeah.
Protestant, like
Hmm.
strong Protestant movement. So Henry knew what he was doing.
Of
He knew what he was
course.
doing. It was a smart. It was a horrible move, but it was a smart move. Sorry, Anne
But
Boleyn.
If you look at
the
indulgences, you could buy your way literally into heaven,
Yeah.
and
of
that was
course.
something from the Catholic Church.
Well, remember the joke? They throw money in the air, and what was it? The bishop says, "Whatever God wants, He keeps."
Yeah.
You
Bishop
know,
Magic Don Juan.
no, that bishop was a
Rare.
true religious man.
Okay.
I was
He was ho
raised
ho holy.
Pentecostal, and I was raised that all other religions are wrong, and
Hmm.
the only true path to Christ is through the Pentecostal church. And it also was against gay people, against obviously trans people because of that, and against Muslims, against Jews. It was a very separatist religion, and I grew up in it. So for the longest time, I had these ideologies that all these people were bad. It took my grandmother, who her parents founded our church, and she grew up in it, so she was indoctrinated in it. It took her to say to me, we're everything. We're not just Christian. We're Jewish. We're Muslim, because all paths lead to God. And so you should not take any of this as to say we're better than or we're separate from. We are all the same. And as far as gay people were concerned, I didn't know at the time, but she had a gay brother,
Mm-hmm.
and she was his biggest supporter. She said, gay people are not wrong in the eyes of God. In the eyes of the church, they are, but in the
Right.
eyes of God, they're not. So she was very spiritual over religious, even though she was the Sunday school headmaster. She was, the pillar of the church. She was the church mother. um Behind closed doors, she would tell me all these things and guide me and guide the rest of our family into this, we're all the same. We're like, it made me be so much more of an open person to accept all people, because that was Christ-like. The
Mm-hmm.
stuff that the church was preaching was not Christ-like at all, and she knew it.
Yeah.
But she wasn't strong enough to fight against it by herself. So I think she was like dropping off gems to kind of not uprise, but to kind
Mm-hmm.
of question what the church was saying.
Kind of like
I
planting
stopped,
seeds.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I stopped going to church when I was in my 20s. I used to be the church secretary. I was president of the Young People's Holiness Association, but I kept seeing that the church was more about hate than it was about love. And I just couldn't get down with that. I couldn't
Yeah.
get down with the gay bashing. I couldn't get down with the separatists. Were better than anything. And Pentecostal is one of the most restrictive sects of Christianity
Isn't that
there
the one where
is.
you can't cut your hair and you wear the long
You have
skirt?
to wear the long
Yep.
skirts. We weren't as bad. Like, we were able to do. We had to cut our hair on certain days of the
Yeah.
month, certain
You mean
times
that
of the
they were
moon.
more they were more restrictive than Seven-Day Adventists, Apostolic,
No,
Jehovah's? Okay.
not the church I went to. I have
Okay.
heard of Pentecostal churches that were
Mm-hmm.
that restrictive, but the one that I belonged to wasn't. And I think my grandmother had some influence in that,
Yeah.
because
My daughter's
I think,
family went to the restrictive,
right,
your skirts cannot be above your knees. Your
right.
shirts cannot be shorter than here. No makeup, no cutting hair. Absolutely not. You can't, go to a pool with boys and girls. You can't
Wow.
wear a bathing suit in front of a boy. That stuff. You don't get divorced. Divorce is illegal, is
But at the
against
same
God.
time, they encourage marriage as soon as you got out of high school.
Yeah.
They encouraged pushing you
I
towards
watched a
another
15-year-old and
person.
16-year-old get married in the Pentecostal church back in the
Yeah,
day
yeah.
Okay.
Because they
because
believe
she
in
was
that
knocked up.
Christian. They believe in, you can't shack up. Like,
No.
I was a complete sinner in the eyes of my family, because not only did I have a baby out of wedlock, I shacked up. I never got married. I had another baby out of wedlock. Like, I was like the big harlot of my family. Um,
They
and
didn't
I
introduce you
still
like, "Hi, I want you to meet the whore, Rhea. My
They
daughter,
no,
made
the
her
whore."
they
it
made her wear an
wasn't
R
that.
on her chest.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. But
Okay.
when I left the church is when I actually found true peace and spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't something that was drilled into me anymore. And then when 9/11 happened, I did what a lot of Americans did, because I was still in the church when 9/11 happened. I thought these are just bad people. These were just wayward people. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't they weren't of Christ. They don't believe in Christ. I mean, I knew they believed that Christ existed, but I knew that they didn't believe he was the son of God. So I completely had American flags going. I was proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I was that whole person during that time. And I believe that Muslims were wrong. I believe we should go after them. I was supported the war in Iraq. I was supportive of the military. I was really kind of brainwashed to believe that all Muslims were bad. And it wasn't until I got in my like late 20s, early 30s when the Middle East conflicts, were still going on, but it wasn't front of news like it used to be
Mm-hmm.
in the early 2000s. I started to do my own research, and I started to go down a rabbit hole, and I I was a big watcher of reality TV. So the Shahs of Sunset
Oh,
was my show.
I love that show.
And
That
I
show is
started
so
to
good.
see it was a great show, and I started
Mhm.
to see that Middle Eastern people weren't only Arabs. I mean, they were Arabs, but they weren't only Muslims. They were also Jews. They were also Christians. They were
Mhm.
also like me. And I kind of started to humanize them at that point. Before, they were not humans to me.
Yeah.
And so now I've kind of really relaxed my views because I'm no longer religious. I'm just spiritual. And I believe that all religions are valid, and I believe that all religions are invalid. I believe it's a spiritual thing. I don't believe in like restrictive religious boxes that people put themselves in. And for years, I was told that the Catholic religion was not a real religion. For years, I grew up believing that it wasn't a real religion,
Yeah.
that it was something for white people that they invented so they can do confession to get out of like bad things that they've done. And I thought that was a cop out. Like I was raised that my religion was the only real religion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how a lot of religions preach to their parishioners. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people growing up believe in that. So I think now that I'm much more of a world citizen, I don't think any religion is bad or good. I think you believe what you believe, you are who you are, it is what it
Excuse
is,
me.
and nobody is wrong or right.
It's wild that people can all believe in God and then say, but the way that you talk to God is wrong, or the way that you
Yeah.
Right.
interact with God is
Your
wrong, or
pathway
the
is
way that
wrong.
the pathway to God, the same God is wrong, and it's only
Right.
going to work if you do my pathway. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we need a whole lot more common sense religion. And unfortunately, like Rhea said, a lot of us were brought up in a almost indoctrinated state of what religion was. And just like so many people, how she was saying about 9/11, it was, oh, Muslims, Muslims, Muslims. And then it took one person, and I wasn't that hard up because like I said, I was friends with people that were Muslim. I'm like, that's not those people. But all it takes is you saying to somebody really and truly, if they want to listen and they want to have a logical conversation with you, and saying, when so and so did their crime last week, did we bother to ask what religion they were?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did we bother to ask if that white man was Protestant or Catholic or
Right.
Christian or Jewish? No, it's not a headline. Just like it's not a headline if some white man is raping some children. It's just Joe Bob did so and so. But if it's a black person, it's, oh, black man does X and X and X, or
Right.
Muslim man does XXX. And it seems like it's only categorized with certain folks or certain religions or certain demographics, whereas it's never a one and done when it seems to be white and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It's never, oh, all Christians are this way or all white men are this way. But let some black person do something. Oh, the niggers are this way. Let
Right.
one Muslim person get out of pocket. Oh, Muslims are like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why are we classifying everything that one thing that one person does is something that the entirety of a race does? Because there are way more Muslims not doing shit, and that even we're actively like, please don't group us into that. And then, of course, as Americans, we're too goddamn dumb to realize that just because you're brown and sound like you speak of an Arabic language, that you're not fucking Muslim. How
Right.
many people? And there's it happened to a Sikh. I don't know if he was a congressman or something, that they were like screaming at him, "You fucking Muslim!" Da, da, da. He's like, "Dude, I'm Sikh.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You just assume because you see this brown skin that I'm Muslim." He's like, "I'm not even Muslim."
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many other categories to to brown people other than just you're either Muslim or you're whatever. That
Or Arabic, because the largest Sikh population is in India. And Indian, Southeast Asian, they're considered Asian. But like you said, they see one color, they hear what sounds similar to something is different,
Mhm.
and they lose their mind.
Motherfucker be like, bitch, I'm Hindi. What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm 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 speaking Swahili, or I'm such as, and it's like I'm not. So that look, religion as a whole has been kind of confounded, and it's unfortunately there are masses where it's these little pockets of just ultra conservative or ultra right or whatever the hell, however you want to talk about it. And it's like, of course, it's always the squeaky wheel is the one that we pay the closest attention to. So it's these little pockets that we are going to hear about. And of course, 9/11 being what it was, it's like, oh my God, these Muslims have flown this plane into this building.
Mm-hmm.
Let's eradicate them as a whole. And it's like I said, the ones that I personally know are praying, raising their families, praying some more, going to work and doing whatever they do what we do every single day, minus maybe the pork, the liquor, and they pray more. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a heathen. I don't believe none of that shit. No, I'm joking. No, I think we tend to forget that at one point humanity believed that everything had a deity or a god to it, right? The Greeks had a pantheon of gods, right? A hierarchy with Zeus being on top and everybody else fell in their places. And even beyond Zeus, Zeus had parents, with the Titans. You look at the Vikings in their pantheon with Odin and Thor, and then you go into the motherland where they had the Orisha and my one of my favorite, Anansi, the spider god, the weaver of tales. And all of a sudden, one group says, "Nah, we got to go with this one thing," because there were many cultures that were polytheistic. They believed in a multitude of gods. They believed in many. And then there was this one warring group that came in and said, "Nah, your way is wrong. And what we're going to do is, if you don't believe, we're going to do some of the most heinous things to you because that's what our God, singular, told us need to be done." So once I started looking at it like that, because I was baptized Catholic, Roman Catholic, I was part of all of that, we were taught you pray to the saints because the saints were intermediaries. You pray to Mary because they would go and talk to God. And I'm like, oh, God, too busy to
See, I
hear?
was taught that that was sacrilegious.
Right. But that's, again, Catholicism has a hierarchy,
Hmm.
which is somewhat based on the Greek myth, not, which is funny. The god Zeus and them, they were gods. That was a religion the Greeks believed in. But once the Romans came in and smacked them around and took all of that and flipped the script, and Constantine said, we doing this, and we're going into a monotheistic, one god, one religion kind of situation, the Greek gods became Greek mythology. So it became a
Right.
fairy tale. And the same with all these other cultures, from Africa to America. All indigenous people, the way they prayed, the way they believed, got thrown out and was
Mm-hmm.
told, this is wrong. That is savagery. This is not what our true God did. But y'all who came from this one true God brought disease, slaughtered, stole. Y'all did everything that God said don't do. Every one of those 10 commandments you're pissed on.
Oh, I know who
Because
they were. I know who they were. I know who they were. Whitey.
oh God. Okay. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm
We
gonna let
were
the Lord
Rhea,
tell
we
you.
were taught that like there is only one true God, and yes, we will pray to Mary or we'll pray to a saint, but it was
Right.
kind of like God is omnipotent and kind of busy. So if you got little shit,
Mm.
if you got little shit like
Yeah.
you got to deal with, you
Talk
pray
to
to
Yeah.
the little
Mary.
guy. Yeah, talk to
Right.
her. She'll
Talk to Mary.
she'll deal with the little shit. And if you got some big shit, then you go to the higher up later on. It's like
See,
Right.
in my
your
religion,
direct
Management.
supervisor.
in my
Yeah.
It's
religion,
management.
Mary was never a saint.
No.
So we didn't have saints like that. We sung about the saints go marching in, but we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a saint like that. We had Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. That was
Yeah.
it.
The Blessed
Uh,
Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
oh, go ahead, Britt. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. Continue, please.
Oh no, and that's why I say from Catholicism are all the subsects, and they may not like being called that, but they broke away because they didn't like how the Catholic Church ran things,
Right.
not only in just in the way of how to believe and how to pray and how to have faith, but they did bad business. They treated
Mhm.
people as if they were just servants. They didn't treat human beings like human beings. We weren't supposed to know about the Bible. We weren't
Mm.
supposed to read the Bible. The Catholic Church really said you had to be a scholar. And by scholar meant you had to be a priest or a
Hence
deacon
why
or a cardinal.
the Catholic
Can
Church has missalettes. We don't read from the
Yeah,
Bible in church. We read
you
from a
read from the
missalette,
missalette. It's these little old
which
books. It's like
is
Cliff Notes.
it's a little book. And this is my one from when I was in
Oh.
First
confirmation
communion
and first
or
Holy
confirmation.
Communion. And this is my first Holy Communion.
What do
But
you
Yeah.
mean?
there,
And you have pictures in it? What the hell is that?
yeah, this one does. This
Nah.
is a kid's version of a missalette, so
Yeah.
there are pictures in it. But this is from my first Holy Communion. But you have Bible excerpts in
So you don't take
the
communion on the first Sunday of every month?
no.
First Sunday
It's
every month. You take it every Sunday, God. What's wrong with
You
you?
take you take communion every Sunday, but your first Holy Communion, you have to
Yeah.
be of age
Hey,
and you have to go to catechism classes and you have to learn what it is to mean to take communion into your body. And
No.
then, and then you start taking communion.
girl, you need to cut it
I
out. Y'all was eating crackers while we were eating, good Eucharist.
And
So
we
Oh,
had grape juice. We didn't have wine.
no, we
now
have
you couldn't.
wine.
We had wine, but the kids couldn't
We
have the
had
wine
we
until you
had
were a
Jewish
certain age. I know
crackers.
in my
Everybody had
old
the wine.
church.
We
And then,
had
like I said, I was an altar server, so it was a glass of wine, and whoever it was, either the priest or one of the altar servers would just, and the person
Yep.
would drink it,
and
and then the next
see,
person would drink it, and then the next person would drink it. Like we didn't give a
Mono
shit about
like a motherfucker.
COVID, right?
we had the individual shot glasses
Oh
and the
no,
Yeah.
big
we had one.
elaborate
There was one
thing.
chalice. It was a
Uh-huh.
chalice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you would sip from it
See,
because it's
that's how
supposed to.
COVID spread.
No,
Well,
girl. That's how mono spread.
that part,
That's how herpes simplex 80 would spread.
that part,
I
that
Yes,
part.
Brit.
I wanted to say that because my father was raised Pentecostal and he raised me in a completely no religion environment, none. I was raised in the trans community, the gay community. I was raised completely different.
Even
I was raised, I have met, and not high up, but low level princes. I have met people from other countries, and I had women in my life who were married to, Muslims and other Christians from Arab nations. And so I was raised without religion completely, where it was just complete acceptance of people for who they were. But I looked for religion growing up. My father is a baptized Mormon for one of my stepmoms. So I went to Mormon church for a while. I went to non-denominational. In high school, my principal would take me to her Black Catholic church, and that's when I was first introduced to Black people in Catholicism. I have a child with someone who's his family's deeply Pentecostal, but the old-fashioned kind. I had an aunt who was white Pentecostal and that kind as well. Like literally, I couldn't be around my male cousins at the age of 7 in a bathing suit because that was improper.
Mhm.
My oldest daughter, her babysitter was not Seventh-day Adventist, but what is the other one real similar?
Jehovah.
Jehovah's Witness. And I became a Catholic in my 30s, a choice that I made. And because like I said, California Catholic, I bypassed the classes and catechism. We had conversations. After church, we would sit down on the steps, and me and my priest, he'd sit there and smoke and drink a beer, and we would have conversations. And when I felt ready to be baptized was when I got to be baptized. So it's
we had no
completely
liquor.
different.
Why was your
We had a
priest?
no
You
liquor
said a
policy.
priest was smoking and drinking with you underage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
wasn't
she wasn't
underage. I was in my
underage. She was in her
30s.
30s.
I was in my 30s when
Oh.
I came to Catholicism.
Oh well, yeah.
Um,
Our priest would drink.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Heathens.
the way I felt
Girl,
when
that
I
is.
stepped
What did God
inside
turn?
of the
What did
Catholic
Jesus turn liquor, water into?
Water into
wine,
wine.
We
There
still
you
didn't
go.
right?
believe in it. We didn't believe in
But
liquor.
when I stepped into the Catholic Church, it was the feeling I got, not the religion
Mm-hmm.
itself. I do not believe in organized religion at all. I have friends who are Muslims. I have friends who are Sikh. And because, like I said, I grabbed, I found the Quran, I read through it after 9/11. I believe religion perverts. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the push for the alt-right Christianity that's going on in this country and in our government right now perverts. It goes back to all the old ideals. It's the misogyny. It's, the anti-gay. It's all the hate from Christianity. That's what I don't like. So I believe in God. I have conversations with God. I believe in Jesus. And that's just what I believe. I have
Mm-hmm.
an atheist for a child, an agnostic, and a Pentecostal.
Damn,
So
them
for me,
holidays are
it's the
hell.
hate. Nobody says anything. We just look at the Pentecostal. Like for Christmas, she didn't do Elf on the Shelf. She did, I think it was like Jesus on the something, and but they have Three Kings Day, which is
Uh-huh.
it's like Christmas, but
Who?
it's right after Christmas. It's the three wise men, and you put, I
Who
think,
does this?
Pentecostals. A lot of
No.
actually
Who do
Spanish.
you know has Three Kings Day?
We don't do
My
three.
daughter.
That's a Puerto Rican thing. We
What
don't do
That's a
daughter?
that.
Puerto Rican thing. My
We don't,
oldest.
we don't do that in
So you ain't got to give
black.
her
Yeah.
Christmas presents?
No, she does Christmas, Three Kings Day, and she every once in a while says she thinks she might be Jewish.
I was gonna say, so
So
she don't start doing Hanukkah too?
right, but
So she's just trying to get gifts
no.
out your ass every
That's what it sounds like.
waking moment because Hanukkah
But
is
she
8
always
days of
did.
gifts.
That part.
Okay.
But so when I worked for the city of Boston, Three Kings Day was celebrated by the city of Boston. It was a big festival that we had. And it was because so many of the Spanish people, the Latinos, they weren't Catholic, but they did pull in some things from Catholicism, like Three Kings Day. They were
Yeah.
Pentecostals that celebrated a Catholic holiday
When is Three Kings Day?
after
January.
Christmas.
Okay, so that's the Epiphany. See, that's what Catholics call the Epiphany. When the
Mhm.
three kings make it to Bethlehem and they see Jesus and give gifts. Cuz that for us here in Louisiana is the start basically of carnival season.
Yeah, January 6th.
Do you guys do the
January
cake
6th.
with the baby Jesus?
That's the king cake.
That's the king cake.
Right. Right. I don't celebrate Three Kings Day. I don't celebrate anything because, for God's
for us,
sakes,
but
I'm sorry.
That's leading carnival season leads you into
Lent,
Lent.
which gets you into the
So
time of
carnival is
fasting.
religious?
Correct.
Huh?
I didn't know
It has
carnival was
religious. It has a
religious.
It has
religious
it started out as
background.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because Mardi Gras really is the
Oh, yeah.
parade itself was it's not too religious. It was really to mock the rich. It was to mock the kings and
The
queens and the
the things that they did were like he said, they were mocking, but it was Mardi Gras and Carnival came between seasons. So like you were finishing
Mhm.
Christmas, you were finishing Three Kings, the Epiphany, and then you were going into this Carnival season, which was supposed to be like a season of you were fattening yourself up. You were doing all these
excess.
things to get ready for, yes, you were doing all these things in excess to get ready for Lenten season, which is when you would fast and you would be like you would be more conscious of what you were doing because you were giving things up. So you
Mhm.
would go into this carnival season, you would drink and be merry, and there's parades and there all these symbols between in the parades, like the torch carriers symbolize certain things, and there's all these things that symbolize other things. But then you would go into it's like you'd have this carnival season. Fat Tuesday had a meaning,
Mhm.
all the days leading up. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but there's what's the fucking days, Anthony, before Fat Tuesday?
There's Lundi Gras, which is
There's
fat
Lundi Gras.
Lundi Gras. Samedi,
Like I just drew
Samedi
a blank.
and
Yeah.
Sunday Gras, all that craziness, but it
Yeah.
really is the do all the not say bad things. We're not saying go do any crimes or anything, but do the things that you are really not supposed to do. You're supposed to like engorge yourself and
Correct.
build all of this in, like take all this in, the liquor, the wine, the liquor, the food, the enjoyment. Because
Yep.
when Ash Wednesday come and you go get your forehead dirty,
Yeah.
you must be pious, you must be ready, you must
See,
be
we thought
willing.
all that was sacrilege.
But again, what you found sacrilege was tradition.
Correct.
And those were things that were in the Bible. Palm Sunday, the burning of the palms.
We did
That
Palm
is,
Sunday.
yeah, well, all of that
Palm Sunday
coincides.
leads you into Ash Wednesday
Ash
or
Wednesday. No, Palm Sunday leads you into
Do you
Easter
do you
because
guys
you
Easter.
burn the
Yeah.
ashes for next year.
do you
Yep.
all fast at any
Yeah.
point?
During Lent. You fast
You
during Lent.
you
We
fast during
fasted
Lent.
too.
Well, but here's the thing. Even that was something the church created because of a business situation. The fact that
Mhm.
with Catholics, you're not supposed to eat meat on Fridays.
Hmm.
That
Isn't Ramadan fasting
Yeah,
as
that's
well?
fasting.
Yeah.
Ramadan is
Correct.
fasting. That's
Ramadan is
Islam.
fasting from
And
sun up to
to
sundown.
sundown. And that's true fasting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Catholicism, you could do that if you want, but the
Correct.
fasting for us is, oh, I'm giving up sugary
You
drinks
have to
Yeah,
give
or
up kosher.
you're gonna give up something that you probably took into excess during the
right
carnival season, and then you will also not eat meats on
on
like old people
Fridays.
would do it constantly. They would try to go the
Hmm.
Lenten season without it, but it was really just don't eat meat on Fridays,
And the
leading
only
That's
into the
reason,
eat fish.
weekends.
Eat fish
huh?
on Friday.
Eat
Yeah,
fish on
fish.
Friday. But here's the reason: fishermen back then were losing money,
Hmm.
so they implored the Catholic Church, the Vatican, the Pope.
So everything has just been a business
It's a
decision.
It's
business.
all been
That's why I
business.
said
It's all been about money.
unfortunately the Catholic Church can be bought and sold.
So
It can.
it's not about God at that point, in my opinion.
Well, so they could backdoor it with assisting fishermen by saying we already weren't supposed to eat things that we weren't supposed to eat pigs, we weren't supposed to you were only supposed to eat cloven hoof animals or
You're not supposed to
so
wear cotton.
yeah, so they would backdoor it with pretexts that were in the Bible, and you can cherry pick. Like
Yeah.
people have been doing that for centuries. So they
Hmm.
would backdoor it with, okay, you're gonna only eat fish because the fish is in the loaves in the Bible, and you're not
Right.
supposed to eat pork and things
Right.
of that nature. So there were little nuances that they would pick from the Bible after they had already been bought and sold.
I
And they'll
remember
make
one
it holy
day
What,
decree.
Correct.
really
I
quick?
went home and I said to my grandmother, "We're not supposed to eat pork," because I had a friend who was Muslim. She was the only Muslim in our school, and she used to tell me eating pork was like against God.
Swine.
Yeah, it was unclean.
Yeah.
And I said it to my grandmother, and she said, "No, we have dominion over all animals,
Yeah,
so
it
we can
depends
eat
on the
pork."
religion. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
again,
Uh,
go ahead, Britt. Go ahead.
no, I was going to say that, there is an actual history, economic history that we all partake in when it comes to Lent. The McDonald's chicken fish sandwich was literally created because of the meat sale decline because of Lent. And so it was in Chicago, I think, where they decided to make the fish sandwich so that they would offer it on Fridays. Fuck you. But no, seriously, but we don't think about that. We don't think about why. I'm sure there's so many other consumeristic things out there that once
Well,
again lead back to something as old
Christmas.
as fasting.
Christmas.
Here's the thing. Jesus was
That
not born at that
in
time.
December, right? Because it sadly, even though he was the child of God, he would have froze to death. Because the winters
Right.
were harsh in the desert at that time, so Jesus might have been a Gemini. We don't know. Um, but one of the crazier things about it all, and then we got to move to our next topic, is that when we as people find our spiritual enlightenment, where we're like, I don't want to follow these tenets of that religion, I find that people become a little more freer to
Hmm.
understand what's going on, right? you're not locked into, because like when I grew up as growing up as a black Catholic, as a black kid, and here in Southern Louisiana, mind you.
Can I ask a question about that?
What's that?
Did you guys have good music? Like good gospel music?
No,
Catholics don't have
don't do
Catholics don't
gospel
do
music.
gospel music.
See, that to
We
me
sing
is
the
a
We
missed
sing
hymns.
hymns.
that to
You
me
know,
is a missed opportunity to
Christ has
indulge
died,
in
Christ
no.
has
Oh
risen,
hell
Christ
no.
Yeah.
will come again.
No.
Yeah, it
Oh hell
was
We
no.
had
right. Well, here's the thing:
Mm-mm.
the the Catholic Church pretty much was set upon like the Gregorian chants, right? So it was
Mm-hmm.
it to
very
me
It's
that
docile.
was
it's very
very
omen.
white.
Yeah,
It's
That one of
very
right.
those.
white to me. Like that's why I could not. I did not
Yes.
know there were black Catholics because
No,
that is very white to me.
you're 100% white and right,
The
because the Catholics who subjugated black folks were white. And a lot of that also comes from the Protestant side of it all, of you don't go in hooting and holler, you hallelujah, hallelujah. It's like this
Yeah.
really drone. But the funny thing is, here in Louisiana, the Catholics started, black Catholics really started to put some seasoning on the hymns. So
Mm.
when you hear, you remember the song Amen?
Mm-hmm.
Amen, amen.
Mm-hmm.
That, which was written by Riley from Amen. You remember the show Amen?
Yeah.
Yep.
That little old man, Riley Forbes,
Mm-hmm.
he was one of the
Mm-hmm.
writers of the song. So I've read, I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But most of the hymns got soul, got a little bit of black soul in them.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
a lot of that
Oakland
comes, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the Oakland Catholic Church, and I've been there. I was there when I first moved here, and a few other times. It has always been gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
And the history of the Oakland Catholic Church, it has been very much pulled from the South, and that's due to the Great Migration that
Yeah.
happened. You know, the forced flight. Um, and so they brought over and married into it. And because Oakland was a safe space and was built for and by Black people, it's this beautiful mixture of a gorgeous Catholic church. You have a priest, but you also have, gospel music. And it's, I always saw it as like this perfect little mixture that only Black people can
Yeah.
do. We can take so many things and make something even more beautiful out of it.
Well, and also, if you really think about it, all the gospel music that you grew up with, listening to the double time claps or the triplets and all of that,
Yeah.
that comes from the fields.
Yeah.
So that is all Negro spirituals. It just moved in and found a place to survive, which was the church. And
Waiting in the wall.
So yeah, I don't know gospel music like I know gospel
oh,
music.
we know gospel music
We
because
know
our
it because we
grandmas
Yes.
grew up.
played
Oh,
Mahalia
Yeah.
and James
okay.
Cleveland and
Oh,
They
you
so at
know,
we didn't
home
you
you
didn't
would
have
still
gospel
listen to
music at
gospel music.
church, but
no.
it depends on how, like in the Catholic world, it depends on how Roman Catholic your family was,
Yeah.
is if what kind of music, like if they really got into like gospel music.
Hmm.
Like my grandmother wasn't really the one that introduced me to or gospel music. It was my mom and my stepmom. But I thought the shit was the first time I went to my stepmom's church, she was
Hmm.
Methodist, or we went to a Methodist church.
Were they AME?
I was so uncomfortable. I was immensely uncomfortable with all the
Okay.
hooping and the hollering and
Yeah,
the
and the
the
catching the
Okay.
ghost.
talking
Yeah.
and the Holy Ghost shit and all. I was so uncomfortable. I was like,
See,
please don't ever bring me back here.
that makes me feel at home. That's
Oh
funny.
no. I thought it
For
was
me,
especially
yeah.
that Holy Ghost shit. I was like,
Uh-huh.
it's fake. It's so fake. It looks fake. How do y'all not see that it's fake?
I always thought it was fake when I was coming up as a kid. I was like, what the she just wants attention. Like she thinks just she's come on. Like I used to always think it was fake.
I'll be honest with you. When I lived in Philadelphia, I went to my cousin's church. I think it was CBC or CBBC. It felt non-denominational, but it really was like a Baptist, Pentecostal,
Yeah.
probably Methodist blend, Episcopalian blend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about it like it's a damn coffee. But I used to trip out when they get into, the testimonials and they start testifying and they start singing. And I'm not going to lie. This woman started and she broke out in tongues. I don't know
Yep.
why I did. I went, wait a minute. Hold on. This is me being Catholic and not accustomed to it. I just went, Mama say Mama sa Mama kusa. Mama say Mama sa Mama
Even to
kusa.
this even to this day,
You
I've
lose
gone
it.
I feel probably the most comfortable now. Like I will still occasionally go to mass, but I feel probably the most comfortable in maybe a Methodist church because it seems like it's the closest to Catholic without being like Baptist, which is far and removed from how my mind works. Um, but even yet and still, some of that is just odd to me. The
Hmm.
constant the singing and the yelling back at the like it's still even to this day is still a little odd to me,
And
but
they're
I
starting
do
to do it in
feel the
Catholic
most
churches now
comfortable.
too.
They
In
are.
Black
They are.
Catholic churches, they are doing call and
Like I
response
said,
a
in
lot
like
more.
in like progressive because we did like we had so any Catholic church you will have incoming priests that will visit, and we did have one that was very progressive. He was a little African man. I will never forget him. He was a tiny little African man, and he was very progressive. He didn't just stand at the pulpit and like up down genuflect up down and we're gone home. He was
Hmm.
very like, I'm going to preach to you, and it was the first time I had that in the Catholic church. He used to walk up and down the middle of the church and talk like directly. He would look at people and da 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 and would ask for a response back. And he would tailor make what he was saying to whatever was going on in the world. And it was the first time I had seen that from a Catholic priest. And he would allow for the callbacks and the, tell me what you think. And he would allow for that. Now there it was within reason, of course, because it was still the Catholic Church, but it was the first time that I understood that to be progressive was not a bad thing, especially
Yeah.
within the Catholic Church. And it was a little more, it wasn't as rigid because Catholic Church is very rigid. It's very like, it's
See,
very by the
that would
book.
be boring
It's
to me.
45 minutes and you're in and you're out. And you do the
Yeah, it
Oh,
same
is.
thing. You
That's
do the
one of the
same
okay.
best
things
things.
each and every time.
Okay, so
You
we
get
were in
there,
church for
you
3 to
say
4
this, you
hours.
sit down, the preacher talks, then you get up, you sit down, you genuflect, you get up, you
Right.
sit down, you genuflect, you go take communion, you genuflect, you leave. Like it's very and it's the
No.
same cadence for every single
We were
mass.
in church from 9 a.m. for Bible study, or excuse me, Bible school. And then there was a break in between. You could have breakfast if you wanted to. Then at 11 o'clock, church would start. And you'd be there till 2 o'clock. Then you'd go home. Then you come back at 6 for evening church. Then you'd come back on Wednesday for Bible study.
Oh no.
Then you'd come back on Saturday for choir rehearsal. And then you come back again on Sunday and rinse and repeat. So I was in
Okay.
church 3 days a week.
No, I'm good.
That's very
Well,
And you
Pentecostal.
still and you
yeah.
still ended up being a heathen. So what the hell did
I
that
sure
accomplish?
did. I sure did.
What did
Well, we
that
gotta wrap.
accomplish?
Well, we gotta move on, y'all, because Lord knows, with this old time religion, we gotta move and start talking about the new religion, and that is technology. Because this goes for Brit. This also came from our Middle Eastern correspondent because he wants to know, excuse me, Brit's feelings on artificial intelligence and black people. So we will get the
So
African
we're getting
American
we're
princess
getting a her tap corner on how our AI is racist.
pretty
Well, it
much.
is. It honestly is. Okay, I mean, let's be completely honest. There's so many ways that
You got
AI
4 minutes.
is okay.
I'm kidding.
One
I'm kidding.
way that AI
Shit.
is, and these are
I
based
hope
upon
not, because
studies.
I've been using the shit out of Chat GPT.
Right?
One is because it does not recognize and it is not taught to recognize the different ways that people type, and you type very often the way you speak. And
Mhm.
because we see AAVE, or as some it used to be called Ebonics, is very different. And it's not just like, oh, I'm typing a word that isn't a word, it's sentence structure. So
Mhm.
that is one way that it will sometimes kick out wrong answers, will act as if it didn't understand what it's being what you're asking of it is because it is not taught to, it is taught very specifically to recognize a white cadence, the King's English per se, almost. Another way is AI is going to increase the wage gap as also the wealth gap, because Black families bring in 38 cents on the dollar of the wealth that comes in from America. We only get into our homes 38 cents on the American dollar. And because AI is becoming so huge, most of the billions that it brings in is going to increase that wealth gap between Black communities and white and Asian communities, and only specific Asian communities, because there are Asian groups out there that are disproportionately affected by immigration and things of that nature, and they're not seen as wonderful as Koreans or Chinese or Japanese in this country. And those are the top tier in this country as we see Asians. It also is one of the things AI is going to do is it is going to take over automation. And a large portion of those in the automation industry, more often than not, are Black people. So it's going to push them out of jobs. And then there are other types of jobs called the gateway and the target jobs. And the gateway job is a job that you can do and you make roughly around $40,000. It's that type of job where over time it's going to push those gateway jobs out. It's all about the automation of AI. And 74% of Black people in this country do not have college degrees. Those are the majority of the jobs, the target jobs, the gateway jobs. It literally is going to disenfranchise so many Black people. And because many schools in very specific areas are not teaching AI the way they are teaching them in the white prep schools and the schools, even if they're public schools, they're in wealthier neighborhoods. Those children are growing up with a greater understanding of AI in a way that we don't understand if we're just using Google. We use Google Chat GPT, and that is our knowledge in most Black communities. It is not the intricate, let's work it towards and build a business out of it. It's the same thing with coding. When coding became a thing, it was white people, it was Asian people. We had to create programs, Black girls who code. But there were also, those young Black women were also starting so far behind their white peers that that's where the coding economic gap comes in as well. So AI is not only going to push us out as humans, AI is going to create a situation where we're losing our jobs as Black people. We're being replaced by automation. And rather than allowing us to control that automation, it will be a white supervisor. We are going to be pushed into menial jobs, very menial jobs, even with a degree at some point, because if you couple that with what's going on in the government right now, and the removal of DE&I and affirmative action, it's just a lovely way to discriminate. So they're looking at between 2030 and 2060, AI will be able to perform half, if not more, of a majority of Black jobs. So it goes beyond the fact of a sentence structure, a misunderstanding. We think it's also AI's inability to read our faces, to not register our nose versus our cheeks. Hold on. Hey, you're fine. Stop it. We see it as a shiny toy right now, and a lot of people in the Black community don't understand what it's actually going to do to us as a community. It is going to disenfranchise us in a way that we couldn't even imagine. And because unfortunately we have a hierarchy in our community when it comes to Black people with college degrees. Those that have college degrees are going to be pushed up somewhat if they're in white collar jobs, and it's going to create that divide and widen it even more in how those with college degrees in our community are seen versus those without. And you have to take into account that we're also bringing in we have a large portion of Africans in tech jobs. And so because white America does not differentiate between African and African American, they will continue to push Africans. The job where I work, the majority of the black people, as was when I was at Meta, are African. So those are large issues that I have with AI and black community. Sorry.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So how is AI going to focus on?
I think Brit
What?
is looking to purchase an AI dog. So if you
How
know,
is how
She
is
said,
AI
"What the
supposed to
fuck?"
focus on? You're saying that it'll phase out black jobs. How is it focusing solely on black jobs?
It's not. It's about what jobs it's focusing on, where that is a large portion of those that hold those jobs are black people versus white collar jobs.
Yeah, when you said
And
automated jobs,
so you mean
what does
blue
that
collar
mean?
jobs like
What type are
automation.
those? Is that
So
Yeah.
automation, yeah.
I don't know what that
but
means.
even
What is
automated jobs.
automation?
Okay, what?
What is automation? Like, what types of jobs are automation?
Okay,
Like
so
an Amazon picker or something like that?
it can be an Amazon picker. It can also be, very often when you go onto a website and you see that chat bubble pop up,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to ask to speak to a representative. Those
Yeah,
are
chatbot.
automated jobs. Those
Mhm.
are jobs that we see as only for
Oh.
human beings, customer service, things of that nature. It's going to make it even larger because right now, Sam Altman, who is the isn't he the creator of ChatGPT?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Right.
I believe so.
He's talking about how he's going to roll out another version that will be more emotionally intelligent.
Well, and
So
that's
I'm
because
because I do customer service.
Right.
what's
We don't see those jobs as automated, but there are jobs that can be automated, and the large portion of those jobs are people of color, predominantly black people.
well, and I think when we start looking at it, I think I forgot who it was in this black people black in tech video I was watching. One of the smartest moves for black folks to get into, because AI has cannot do this, is engineering. Engineering is where,
Jazz.
well, okay, sure,
Engineering's
Coding.
wonderful
sure,
and great, and you're correct, but unfortunately, these
I,
large companies are
right.
bringing them over.
I kind of wasn't finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because no, it's okay. You don't have to work for the company. You can always contract. And the thing about companies are not looking for in-house engineers anymore, because that messes with the overhead. It messes with the money they make in the long run. AI cannot fix itself. No matter how much they kept trying to say, well, it's self-automated, it's self-reliant, it's independent. AI is only as smart as the people who input into AI. For now, I know, Brit, you're trying to get into the AI madness, and I live in the ways of the Asimov rules with robotics. It cannot harm, but you have to program it for that. What this dude with Chat GPT is talking about, and I remember watching it on a CNET, is it's not to make it more. What did you say? Like emotional,
No,
more
emotionally intelligent.
intelligent.
It to understand when we put emotions in and how to
Right.
spit emotional responses back to us.
It has to be auditory though. And that's the thing. Most of the problems with that is a person's tone can be misread. So me not sounding extremely happy, I'm be like, yes, I would love to speak to someone. It would take it as an aggressive tone. And that's not what I'm trying to be. So they're still having problems with it. So it's still, time in
For
the future.
for now, but we as human beings, we
We're gonna
know
be
what we do. We don't
yeah, but
leave things this way. We don't leave things for now. That's
we
why
don't.
they're consistent. We're
We
consistently trying to one up everything that we do.
and yet we fail. And
I'm sorry. It's
the
going
only thing we're
to
good at is destruction, destroying ourselves, never replacing us, but taking us out completely. And
and
if
that's what
we
we're going to do with AI. We're going to take ourselves
and
out.
AI can't exist with it if an EMP hits.
True.
So again, even
That's
with
why
our you
get
looking
rid
for
of
nuclear war?
electricity.
That's
No,
why
just get rid of electricity.
I
Once
have a wind
electricity's
up
gone, it's all gone.
I have
Girl,
a
the
wind
first
up
computer was
radio.
gears and steam. Yeah,
No, I'm just saying. I am
but
saying that
right.
our own hubris is what will destroy us. And as long as we consistently believe that AI can never do X, Y, and Z, we are opening the door for AI to do X, Y, and Z. That's all
Well,
I'm saying.
no, you're right. But again, that's why I say if we are to supposedly survive and to shorten this wage gap, engineering might be one of the best places to be. Because even with
What if you're
automation,
stupid? Like, I
Okay,
can't
I
get
have a
into
question.
do
engineering
you know
right
how to
now.
turn?
I'm
Do
not
you
smart.
know how to flip a
But
switch?
Yeah.
You're an
you're
engineer.
also of an age to
Yeah,
where they're
you
not
don't.
looking at your age gap. They're looking at your children and the children younger than them to get into engineering. My question, like I got like so devil's advocate type of question. One, the whole thing about typing into AI and we're using AAVE. I don't want my children to speak 100% in whatever the hell you want to call it, whether it be Ebonics or AAVE. I want you to learn how to speak grammatically correct. So if the system does not understand your your ill-fitting ass sentence, I can't necessarily be mad at that in every aspect of the world because we speak that amongst ourselves. But if we want to do better for our kids, which we're supposed to want better for them, and we want them to be stewards of the world and be able to go out and speak to other people, travel the world, everybody's not going to understand their AAVE. And
Hmm.
that's not a them problem. It's not even our kids' problem. It's a whatever at this point. But I'm okay with the computer system not understanding Ebonics. Like, is the computer system also supposed to understand patois? Is it supposed to understand
It's not about that.
all
It's
these
not a
other forms of
no.
language?
No, it's not about that.
Then
It's
why are
about and
it?
this
But it is about that. Why are we superseded and looking for this AI to understand AAVE when it's not understanding every broken language of every
Well,
other language? Like there's backwoods ass Spanish, there's backwoods ass French. Is it understanding those as well?
and I'll just throw it in like this: the reason that I could see where Brit's coming from, and a lot of black people in tech are really concerned about. It's not really so much the language of it; it's the understanding of black people in general. Like self-driving cars. Self-driving cars do not see black bodies. Period.
Yep.
It's period. That's a form of
Hmm.
AI. It
Hmm.
understands the yellow markings on the ground. It even understands the black top of the street. But if a black body goes in front of that self-driving car, it doesn't recognize it. Now
It's like
that's
facial recognition
ignition.
software.
It
We
don't
have issues with
recognize.
that as well. They don't recognize us. And the other thing, like you were saying about,
Now they're
typing it
fixing
in
on. They're working
is,
on it. I don't know if it's working.
but the only reason they're working on it is because something has to happen. It is created this way to, it comes from a very racist mindset. This is the only way to do X, Y, and Z. We live in a white system that rewards how the white race moves, how they think, what they do. And AI is available to everybody with a computer. And as much as you may not want your children to talk like that, there are also parents out there that that's not a thought for them. They have other thoughts in their head. Their children are still utilizing it for school purposes. They're still running into it and running into problems. This is the assumption that everyone is all on the same playing field. Even though it may be available to everybody, it's not accessible to everybody. And that's the difference between equity and equality. Yeah, it's equal because everybody has it, but it doesn't mean it's equitable to everybody. And once again, what that does is it creates that gap. It's just another tool that we utilize this world, and it's heavier and heavier and heavier. And we're more AI focused and more AI focused. and we're going to keep going that way. And it's going to create a situation where right now our wealth gap and our economic gaps are so big, it's just going to make them worse. And that's not helpful, one, for the Black community, and it's just not helpful for the world. It's
My
not going to
second
make
part of
things
that,
better.
second part of that was saying, like, Anthony was saying that engineering is something that we need to get into. Like, if we are saying that there's going to be this gap, the gap is going to further become more extreme, why are we not, as a community, making sure that our children are getting into some of these programs? And then I know
agree.
that the fight is going to be, well, they don't have X, Y, and Z, and they don't have this or they don't have that in their schools, or they don't have access to. I don't know personally a child without a cell phone. And as of right now, you can take full-fledged classes via cell phones.
Yeah.
You don't need, like, when we were growing up, you had to have internet access and a phone line and a computer, like a sit in the house, computer, monitor, printer, the whole nine, in order
Mm-hmm.
to do any of that. And that's not the case anymore. We are walking around with literal phones in our pockets these days. If we are not making sure that these children are getting the means, because it's going to have to start with the parents, guiding their children into something, and then
Right.
those children taking it and running with it. If we're not doing that, then we're only going to be we're only going to continue to be a detriment to ourselves. So at some point we have to stop saying, and I know what it sounds like coming out of my mouth, but at some point we're going to have to stop saying that we know everything is fucking racist. What are we going to do to change it? If
And
we
I
know that the
completely agree with
system is
you.
set up against us for something,
Right.
that's why I like Black Girls That Code, Black Girls in Tech, whatever these courses are, whatever these programs are, even if motherfuckers is like, we're talking about DEI and affirmative action, two things that we have already come to realize were benefiting white women more than anybody. They were
Mm-hmm.
benefiting white women, they were benefiting the Asian community, what do we call them? The whatever, it's not silent gender. What the hell are we calling the model minority community?
Mm-hmm.
It was benefiting white women in the model minority community. If affirmative action goes away, I guess, because it wasn't benefiting
Yes.
us at the rate that it was meant to be anyway. If DEI goes away, it wasn't benefiting us at the rate it was supposed to anyway. And who was it, Harvard or Yale, saw that with their admissions numbers when the
Mm-hmm.
Asian dude was like, "Oh, well, DEI and affirmative action," and then come to find out y'all got fucked in the process. Our numbers stayed the goddamn same. Our numbers never dwindled from admissions into those Ivy League schools, but the Asian community sure the fuck did.
It's
So if we're not
and
pushing these kids into something else and we constantly just keep like, it's racist, it's racist, it's racist, it's racist. Well, fuck, if we know it's fucking racist, let's do something different at this
but
point.
it's not. You're absolutely correct, and I completely agree with you. At some point, you got to, as they say, shit or get off the pot. And I understand that. I completely agree. Unfortunately, we can't just rely on every parent to push it, because sometimes when you are only making $15 an hour and you're supporting your kids and you're trying to find a second job, these are not the things you're thinking of in your mind. But as a community, that's completely different. The individual very often cannot affect a lot of change. The community has to, as you said, Helene, come together and say, yes, these are all the barriers between us. 78% of Black people do not have college degrees. That is a huge barrier, but these are the barriers in front of us. Now that we've recognized them, now that we're all pretty much collectively agreeing that it's time to stop waiting for white America to save us, because they have no interest in it and they're never going to fucking do it. And pushing only gets us so far, and most of it is performative. What are we going to do? Because we see this coming, and that's the problem. Girls Who Code, for example. By the time the Black community became galvanized and white America, some people in white America decided to participate in this, creating spaces for young Black girls to learn how to code. Coding was so far, it had gone so far that the largest benefits in the beginning were already given to the white people and to the model minorities. We need to jump on that and not make that something that happens again with AI. We need to fix these situations, just like Helene is saying. Okay, we get it, we understand it. We need to not waste our time trying to get other white people to understand it. That never works for us. And by the time we wait for white people to understand it, they've already reaped the largest amount of the benefits from it.
Mm.
And yes, most of these tech companies want engineers from other countries, and they want engineers from other countries because they can force them to work hours that most Americans will refuse to work because we understand our rights for the most part. You know, they can pay them less, and they understand they have almost an indentured servant. Because if you don't work for me, you only got 3 months or you're back. It creates an indentured servitude. So I agree. We as a community also need to create spaces where these engineering degrees can be utilized. If we're going to have Black people pushing towards engineers or any of the higher education degrees, we also need to create situations where they can be utilized and not relying upon white America to allow us to utilize them. We've got to attack this holistically, and we need to take over and start doing our own AI shit. You're right. Those cars are running Black people over and when they're crossing the streets. So we need to do something. We have to do
Nope.
something,
Let
or
me
we're going to wait
hurry
for
up
white
and stop you.
America.
Let me hurry up and stop you. There has been no Black person that was hit. It was models.
I was like, I didn't
It
hear
was
about that
models.
shit. God,
It was
damn.
models
No,
during
I
testing.
know. You're right.
But
I was
the
gonna say that's kind of funny.
and only you. Only you.
It is. It's something. It's like a Saturday Night Live skit to me.
Yeah, yep. But one of the things, and we're gonna have to kind of chop it there because we gotta start
Okay.
wrapping up. But the beauty of it all is we, like Britt says, we see the problem, we gotta do something about it. And Helene said it as well. There has to come a point where you can continue to stay behind the 8 ball or actually get in front of that sucker and knock it into the side pocket and win the game. It really depends now on this newer generation. And it seems to show that they are moving more towards tech led industries than anything. Now, this could be because they want to be content creators or whatever, but when you look at the code for coding, Black girls who code is actually showing this program really does work. Now,
Here's the problem with that. It is not a
okay,
recession-proof industry. It no longer is. Coding is no longer a recession-proof industry.
no, it's not.
And
But again, just move to China. But what I'm saying is, with what is it, Deep Sky AI that pretty much knocked everybody on their ass on Wall Street,
yep.
shocked the world, and then come to find out it fizzled. But then it found its way right back up to where it was supposed to be because it was actually learning itself.
Mm-hmm.
The code is out there. A lot of this stuff has been reverse engineered. And that's why they say, Black kids need to move into STEM a lot more than any other field because you need reverse engineers as well. Because they're the folks who can look at something, break it down, reconstruct it, and put it out for other people to use. And if we have children like that, that can give not only a head start, that could put you in the front of a lot of things. You become more proactive when it comes to, building for tech and automation. But again, companies will always find a way to circumvent the human aspect and go for the easiest route to make the most money. This is why Henry Ford, who was known for his what is it, conveyor belt style way of building a car, that turned into automation. You had men and women who literally could build a car with their eyes closed, and then they were introduced to robotics. And folks who worked for 30, 40 years of their life in those plants are not even getting a watch. They're getting a swift kick in the butt and saying adios. A computer has taken over your job. So again, yay world. I don't know. I just hope we do find our space and place, and we get in front of it and become much more proactive than reactive. That's my outlook. So we got to end it because this is very dour. This is very. This
Yeah,
was a
I'm
dark one.
depressed again. Thanks. Thanks, nerds.
That was Joseph's fault.
Yeah, no, we can't blame him. I mean, those were good topics, though. At the end of the day, those were really good because they do affect us. Religion affect us as people, as black people. Every time something is done wrong to us, the first thing they say is, "What does the Bible say?" We should pray for our enemies. No, I'm Old
Our
Testament.
current
Eye for an eye.
administration, our
It's
current
very eye
administration
for
is
an eye.
trying to build a whole nation based upon their idea of Christian values. They keep
Yeah.
pushing it. That's all
So
that's with the anti-abortion stuff. All of that is pushing it. So yes, religion,
But
whether people participated or not,
Yeah.
affect us.
Exactly. But look, we're going to try and end it on a happier note because I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we have a question of the
I
pod.
don't know. If she uses my question, it ain't a happier note. She
Oh,
better use
damn.
another
Oh
question.
yeah. No, I was gonna use your question.
Oh yeah, no.
Yes, no.
Let's cap this episode off with depression. All right.
All righty.
Are we ready for the question of the pod?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to go around the room with this one. Would you rather be black in the 1800s in America or Jewish in the 1930s Germany?
That is a Helene question.
Let's start.
is.
Well, let's start with Helene.
It
Let's see
is.
what Helene's going to say.
It is. It's my question. I didn't even really think about it. I just heard it and was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a good ass question." I'm gonna go 1800s.
And why?
Because I could be a house nigga, so maybe
You're light enough.
maybe it won't be so bad.
she'd be a nurse in
Yeah, I'd be
she'd
one
be
of the
feeding
mammy
the
titty
white
bitches.
babies. Yeah.
So but I don't know, 1930s you're white, but the minute they see some hair in the nose, I'm gonna be fucked. And I don't know what kind of nose I'm gonna come out with, and they'd be able to spot my ass from across the field. So I'd be like,
well, you had to have a Star of David on your chest.
I mean,
but you could also run away to another land where you wasn't being bothered. I'm just saying.
This is true, but
If
a
you
lot
have
of
the
them motherfuckers
money.
was
Yeah,
living
but
in,
if
yeah.
you have
And I was gonna say a lot of motherfuckers
exactly.
was living in Jewish ghettos and they couldn't afford to get the fuck out. So it was like, do I renounce my Judaism? I mean, I would have to because I want to live.
Yeah, I mean,
I do want
Yahweh
to
will
live.
get. Hey man,
They
Yahweh,
were-
we talk.
They
later.
weren't looking for you to denounce it. They were looking if you look like them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
them,
you needed
couldn't
to
renounce it.
look like an Aryan in order. And
Yeah.
how many Jews back then were looking like Aryans? Like how many blue-eyed Jews were there? So it was like,
Right.
I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna try my hand. I'm gonna stay black. I'm gonna try my hand at that. I might have to learn to shut the fuck up, but
Nah,
Anthony.
you'd be a good nursing wench and probably a bed wench and a mistress. You'll be fine.
it is what it is. I mean,
You'd have your antebellum white man.
There you
I
go.
would. I would.
In the wrong way
Probably-
possible, though.
Probably had about maybe 5-10 mulattoes, but hey,
Yeah.
it is what it
Right.
is. Me?
Anthony.
Oh, black in the 1800s.
And why?
I am shucking, jiving, and picking cotton and minding my own
Okay,
goddamn
Steven.
business. Nope, ain't no
Are you gonna
Steven.
be-
I didn't say I was
You-
kissing Master ass. I said I was gonna find me. I say now. Why again do I sound like Foghorn Leghorn?
I say now.
I say it.
I say now.
No, actually, I would. I just couldn't see myself as any other race or any other religion than who I am.
Yeah.
And even in those times of struggle, I don't know, man. I think the community of it, it's weird, but I feel like I'd be protected more within that group, in that field.
Mhm.
And with my size and my big black ass, I'd either be a buck, I'd either be a boxer, or I am lifting heavy. So
Yeah.
I'd finally get that workout and get shredded, and I'd hope to have that mandingo gene. So when Miss Susie come outside looking, now where is Anthony? I was right here, Miss Susie. How can I help you? Oh,
Uh,
Anthony. No, that is, nah, but no, because somewhere down the line, I think something will click, and I'm probably gonna be like a crazy, crazy ass mass murderer, just killing them folk. I just think
okay.
something will pop where I will literally snap.
Yeah, y'all gave me a good idea because if I'm gonna be in the house, I'm gonna just start poisoning people slowly but
Poisoning.
surely.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I
But they're
How
grab
about
Miss
automatically going
Susie.
to assume it's
Massa's
you.
Massa's dead? No. How would they know it was me? I would start at
They
the
don't
oldest
know
and take
it's
them out.
you. They
Nigga, they're
assume
old.
it's you.
They wouldn't
We'll
assume. They
just
weren't that
snitch on
fucking
the
smart.
light skinned one named Brit.
They weren't that smart to know that. They literally had us back there. They thought we were less than. They thought we wasn't shit. They thought we wasn't smart. They thought we couldn't
They
read.
don't
They
think
thought
we're
all these
smart
things.
enough to plan that.
That part, but we were cooking their food. We were tending their fields. We were running
No,
their
they think we're
farms. We were
smart enough to
raising
be
their
evil.
children.
Well, because it would be like a pet
I don't
going
think
against
so.
its master.
Correct.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
why would you bite the hand that feeds you? I've given you clothes and warmth and food, and you're in my kitchen. Like, nigga, I would slowly, little bits of glass in them smothered pork chops every other Sunday.
Oh, speaking of, my sister made that. Let me stop.
That
Uh,
sounds
I know
good.
that's what I'm about to make today.
All right, Brent.
Okay, the one thing I notice is we all assume when we say
Bread's gonna be
1800s, we
white.
all assume prior to the end of slavery, as opposed to the few years that we had some prosperity afterwards. Black Wall Street, things of that nature. But I'll go with the premise, and because I understand the historical context, I don't want to be Jewish. I'm sorry, I don't. I'd rather be black. I'm going to be in the house. And I mean, I've had sex with so many people as it is already.
yeah.
It'll
You'd
be
be
what it'll be.
You'd be Miss Jenny's perfect little footstool.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, Miss Jenny'd hate my ass. Aw, fuck. She'd fuck my face up. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it.
But little does Miss Jenny know that you her half sister.
Right.
That's right. That's
It
right.
says
So-
at the beginning of the 1800s, there were 1 million black people in the U.S. By 1850, there were 3.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Outnumbering. Outnumber.
I'd end up popping out some light skin babies. I don't
Man,
know.
you did that already.
They be
I
passing.
know.
You did
They'd
that.
be
She
passing,
did
yes,
that
they
already
would.
too.
True.
I did. So, I mean, I'm not saying it
Art
would be a better existence.
Imitates life.
Oh damn.
I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying it'd be a better existence, but historically, in a historical context, it'd be a better existence for me, and I would rather be black than be anything else.
You know,
Okay.
there were some Jewish people that survived.
You'd be mulatto.
Yeah, but they don't look at it any different. Mulatto or
do.
not, you black.
Bitch,
Back
depending
in
on what
slave
part of the
times,
country, depending on what part of the country you was in, your house, your mistress was gonna teach your mulatto ass how to read, and you was gonna be her. What did they call
possibly.
them?
No, you're absolutely correct. But I'm
The little
still
house-
black. I'm not white. They're not looking at me
Little
like
house
I'm
slave
white.
assistant
Yeah.
girl.
We gotta go to Red's answer, but I'm gonna end it like this. Brit gonna snitch on us darkies. Moving on.
I don't snitch.
There were some.
Master, she been putting glass in the food.
There were
Don't
some.
eat it. Miss Becky, don't eat it. Miss Becky, don't do it. Put it down, and she gonna smack the plate away. She gonna throw the spoon across the
my
room.
God.
Don't do it.
And then they're gonna look
There-
at her lane. Will you get that pickaninny in the field? And
There
then-
were
Okay.
some Jewish people
Then I'ma
that
get whooped.
survived. I met a Holocaust survivor, and I saw his tattoo, and it
Oh.
immediately brought me to tears.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. I was verklempt, which is a Jewish term, and I just sobbed after he left the room. I just couldn't fathom.
Mhm.
I've never met a slave before, so I don't have anything to compare it to. It was probably one of the most profound moments in my life. So I could say without a doubt that I would be black in the 1800s because I'm black now. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be fucking massa. I wouldn't snitch, but I would, just make sure massa was like occupied while y'all did shit. So
This nigga said occupied. And what way, Rhea?
you know what way.
She'd suck your dick. She'd cook.
She
Juggle,
is
juggle the
a
balls.
she. She is a bed warmer.
Yep.
Yes. So
Okay. Yeah, that was
I would
depressing
rather
yet
be
fun.
I gotta do what I gotta do to live,
Yeah.
and I'd be black.
Look,
I mean,
you
I
know,
don't mean to be rude, but if we only bring in 38% of the US dollar into ourselves specifically, but we put in over 100% of the effort most of the times, we are still portions of slaves. For God's sakes, a significant portion of our economics, even though we put our sweat equity into it, we do not get it back. It
I feel like
benefits
a
the white
slave.
world. We're still slaves.
I'm a
all right.
slave.
Okay, well, on that note, we're going to end it here. Hopefully, those who are watching are not slaves.
I'm
Probably
a
you got some freedom in your mind.
slave
For
for
you.
Shut the fuck up!
Brittany
Anyway,
said
ladies,
it best.
yeah, but she
It's
was
Britney,
white, so it
bitch.
makes sense. Oh, no. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. We got to wrap this up. We have gone long again, but we
Fuck.
don't
As
care
long as
because
fuck.
yeah, but we enjoy the conversation. But we hope you did too. So if this is your first time, thank you for watching. And again, we're sorry, as we tell all first timers, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. Only takes a second. Give us a blue thumbs up if you enjoyed, because blue thumbs are cool. And hit the bell and turn your notifications to all. So when a
You
new
finger to
episode
Smurf.
drops,
Sorry.
yeah, sure. That's fine, Britt. Broke my concentration, but I'm not as old as you. I can get back on track.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Thank you, Rhea. Oh no, we love you, Britt, with your old ass. Hit that blue thumb,
Damn.
hit that bell, turn your notifications to all,
Ding, ding.
and you'll be notified when a new episode drops. So, to everyone who left the comments, thank you again. Thank you to Jazz. Thank you to Blurred of Peace. To all that are watching, we love you. It's our heart. Rhea, please give them some hearts.
Yeah, I'm on an old version, so I don't
Oh,
have the
great.
hearts.
Way to go. Steve Jobs has let
Loser.
us down. Well, that is it, and that is all, folks. So, for Miss Helene Torregano, you see, I'm going to bang, bang, I'm going to get it right. For that beautiful Rhea Sunshine, Miss Araya Anderson, and for the African American, the heck, I'm done. Y'all know Britt Williams. I am Anthony Sterling, saying if you are out in them streets, please be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.